Yo, what's good? What's good, everybody? Man, look who here. William, I see you. Kevin Wright, I see you. Theo, Teddy, Ted, what's good? Yonkers Big, Stephen Fox in the building. I see you. Ismail Rivas, what's good? Delano Steele, what's good? Latrell Sprewell is the American Dream, what's good? Sheik Jop, what's good? Ty Champ, what's good? What's good? William, I see you. Julian Tran, what's good? Hey, Kev is back. TL, what's good? Joe Madden is in the building. What's good with y'all? I see you. Hey, Eric Booker. Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good? Hold on for a second. Let me do a little thing here. You know, I got to do the do my thing in the beginning just to make sure all systems are go. Y'all know how it is. I got to make sure all systems are go. Just want to check something real quick. Just real quick. The usual housekeeping. All right, there he go. There he is. Okay. Got to check one more place. It's the usual. Y'all know how this go. It's the usual. So let me check just to make sure. Man, the voice is going in and out. It's been like a marathon. Hold on. Let me. There we are. Jeremy, I see you. What's good? I see you. Hey, hold on for a second. I got to do something real quick. Just a little something for the benefit of the show. Something I want to talk to y'all about. Where is it? I had it here somewhere. All right. So just a little something about the Knicks at Night podcast. Just for everybody. Yo, so here recently I hadn't been able to be here like I've been wanting to. You know what I mean? Because of outside things affecting, whatever. A guy slipped on a banana peel at work and have to go tend to the banana peel. Yeah, I got y'all. Y'all like, so how's the guy? And then I flip it up and talk about the banana peel. So I have a co-host / producer, Stephen Fox. So what I want y'all to do, what I like for y'all to do is when I'm not here, you know what I'm saying, or when I'm not able to be on with y'all, just give my man Stephen Fox the respect he deserves as the co-host. You know what I'm saying? We don't necessarily, we shouldn't even have to talk about that. That should be, a given. That should be, you know what I'm saying? That when my man sit in for me, that it's the same, basically we putting out the same product as if I were here. You know what I'm saying? So my man Stephen Fox is like the co-host, the definitely, does some production stuff, but we don't want to treat him like the substitute teacher. I think for a couple of nights things kind of got off the rails and it diminished the product that we're trying to put out for everybody. You know what I'm saying? We want this thing to be organic. You know what I'm saying? We want this thing to be organic because this is legit a New York Knicks show, you know what I'm saying, for Knicks fans to come in and have their voices be heard and all that stuff. But what we don't want to do is get off the rails where the what people hear kind of slips, because I liken it to the Jerry Springer show, but we don't want to be more. We don't want to be the OD Jerry Springer show. The Jerry Springer show is OD by itself. So we don't want to be the OD Jerry Springer show. You know what I mean? I'm gonna open it up in a few, but I also want to touch on some other stuff. Man, I love the co-hosts, and I love everybody that jump on and bring they stuff. Y'all are so dope and so fire. You have no idea how dope this thing is listening to it. Like I'm like when I'm away, when I listen to it, I play it for other people, and they were like, "No, Uncle Freezy, that can't be your joint." Hey, dog, hey, this is real right here. They're like, "Nah, this is too dope, man. This can't be your." Hey, this is real right here, y'all. This is real, and it's not like I hadn't done any. Oh, hey, Knicks vibes was good. Kevon Bergen was good. KC Smooth was good. God of Moses and Elijah was good. Yo, this joint is so dope that a lot of times when people see it, it's like when you first walk into the carnival, you're like, damn, look at all this stuff going on. But then it's so dope. The individual parts make the whole that much better. You know what I mean? I chatted with some Nick from some Knicks content creators and with some people that are on the show. And so what the feedback was, yo, this thing is so dope and organic. You know what I mean? It's yo, they like, Uncle Freezy, don't change anything. Well, I got to change some stuff because I got to make sure that the quality is dope from day one. From day one, my thing is when me and Art were doing this, when me and Art, aka Udi Mack, and Rick Wall were doing this on Sportscaster. Our main thing is we wanted to make sure this was a voice for of the Knicks fans. You know what I mean? And at the same time, we wanted to make sure the quality was dope. Simma Singh is in the building. Simma Singh, aka the dopest mod in the game. Lily Phillips was good. Simma Singh and Bodega Wi-Fi, the dopest mods in the game. What's good? What's good, Legion of Knicks podcast? I see you. Legion of Knicks podcast gonna be somebody one day, boy. Hey, one of these days at the end of the game, when Frank Ntilikina hit the game winner for the championship, he gonna rush straight over to the Legion of Knicks podcast. Like, did I do good? Did I do good, boss? I'm joking with Legion of the Knicks podcast, aka that MF of Doom, aka the ghost faced killer. Was good. Ron Cleveland, I see you. Was good. Triborough Gigolo was good. I see you, boss. Mike Morgan was good. William, I see you. Let me do one more thing here. I want to touch on one other thing. All right. So the other thing I've been wanting to touch on is this. So I've been reached out to a lot of future content creators about men either doing collaborations or doing some Knicks content. Just DM me on Twitter at Big Freezy. DM me on Twitter at Big Freezy and I help. Ed Santana was good. Robert Parr was good. Rob the Nick, I see you. Was good. Yeah, y'all hit me up on Twitter at Big Freezy, and I help you with the small, like with the steps that it takes to kind of move forward. I'm not saying that I'm the best or even close. You know, I'm getting crumbs off the table basically. So let me do a little something here. I'm gonna invite my peoples, right? So here's the thing that I'd like for y'all to do going forward, just to make sure that we put the best product out there. Make sure y'all be respectful, or I'm gonna have to smash this mute button. Make sure you be respectful of other people up here on the panel when they're talking. Chris, what's good? Trim, what's good? Make sure that y'all are respectful of others and like kind of get away. I need for y'all to kind of get away from being a little long-winded with the points, because we need to make sure that we give everybody ample time to get their point out without getting their heads chopped off. That's what I call it. Like when you legit come on the chat, like when you're in the video chat and you're saying your point or whatever, and somebody just bum rushes everything and then cut you off. I call that cutting your head off. We don't want to have that as much because we'd like for everybody to get their thoughts out, right? We'd like for everybody to get their thoughts out, but be contrite with it at least a little bit. Because we're on for like 3+ hours, sometimes 4 hours. That's plenty enough time for everybody that wants to speak and have their say heard to have their say heard. If you can't point out in 4 hours, this ain't the place for you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, no disrespect, no shade. Stephen Fox is in the building. What's good?
What's good, Freezy? Happy Saturday night. Looking forward to spending time with you and our Knicks at Night family. We're going to have a great night.
Yeah. It is. We are gonna have some fun. Hey, everybody. Hey, so everybody, look, I'm tired, right? So I'm giving my contacts a rest. So when you see me squinting and stuff, yeah, giving the eyes a rest from you can't just rock your contacts 24/7. All right, let me see here. There is my man.
Man. What's going on, Freezy? Steven? The champ
Cleveland is in the building. Man, I'm getting everybody. Yeah,
hey, Joe.
man.
What's you know up, fellas?
How are you?
What's up, Joe?
I appreciate it.
What's good? Sorry,
Joe,
Ron.
What's good?
What's happening, Freezy? Sorry, Ron. I had to bounce out earlier.
Letting a couple people in. So here's the thing, man. Once we get to a certain capacity, it's just not fun because you have so many people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna try to limit it a little bit. But my browser is super slow. Hey, I got some people back scenes that I'm trying to get in. Hold on, let me work on something real quick. Hey, Steve. Hey, Steven, can you co-pilot for me for a second? I'm gonna work on some stuff real quick.
Absolutely. Right. I hope everyone had a good day, and we're looking forward to a great show tonight. I don't know about you. Did any of you watch the game from yesterday?
Absolutely. It's something when you look at it again, you get to really take the emotions out of it. Because emotions were high, and rightfully so. I mean, first game in 9 months, but when I went back and looked at the game film, and I was like, man, I said, you know what, these guys really played last night. Each one of them guys, man. And I can't be more impressed and happy with the team, man, right now. You know.
It's funny. I said to my wife, she still had me smiling, and I went, it's like when you see a movie. Sometimes you see, you went, it's all right, and then you see it a second time, like, whoa, I caught some things I didn't see the first time. It was a lot better than I thought.
Yeah,
and I think some of it had to do. I was watching the great Guillermo and Sim, so watching them and watching the chat, I didn't have my full attention. So I literally watched every offensive and defensive possession. And I think we're going to have a great discussion tonight. And obviously, we want everybody's viewpoint. Mine may not be yours, but that's the beauty of this community. Hey, the man with the velvet voice, my brother.
I'm hyped about Obi. I went back and I rewatched the game, and then I watched the highlights again because I have nothing else to do this weekend, and it's the first Knicks game in about 9 months. So I'm back and I look back. And I was impressed with Obi about his footwork in the off, and his defense wasn't as bad as I expected. His defense was a little bit better. You had Blake Griffin was giving him some problems, but Blake Griffin, that's not a bad thing, I suppose, because when you look at Blake Griffin, is when he's healthy, is one of the better power forwards in the game.
Yeah. Hi, God. Hi, Latrell. How are you? Hope all is well. God of Moses. I won't call you God.
What's up, Moses? What's up, Latrell?
A funny thing that we didn't discuss last night that I thought maybe was a different angle, and we'll get into the different players and our perceptions the second time around. But the impact on the players playing in an empty arena. There's some pros to it. the rookies and some struggling second or third year players that maybe don't have that pressure. And the cons of not having that sixth man, that energy that you get from a Madison Square Garden crowd. Any thoughts? Yeah. Let's go around. What do you think? I'm sorry.
Right, yeah. Well, my thought, what you were saying about the sixth man is on the other team usually when we play in the Garden, because Frank and Knox and they don't perform well at the Garden, and I think it's just the pressure of being under Nick. Like us Knicks fans, like we're tough. We're critical. If like with DSJ, like with certain situations, you start booing, and we're just very hard, but we're passionate. And sometimes in the young players, it's harder for them to deal with. So I think a year away from the fans and a year just to be able to concentrate just on what's going on in the court would be good for them. But I don't want a nice, good year, and next thing you go back next year to the crowd and we'll fall back again.
And everyone gets nervous again.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Cleveland?
For me, it is exactly what I suspected and expected. I expected those guys to play better because no crowd, you cannot put a value on that, especially when you're on the road. Because let's think about it. When a team starts making a run on the road, let's say we got the lead on the road like we did last night. If that crowd was in it when Detroit started going on the run, you're going to hear that crowd noise, and that's when it's going to tell who really got those nerves of steel. So they really don't have to worry about the nerves of steels too much. But still, I think it's going to benefit guys that, have that temperament that they can be bothered, i.e. a Dennis Smith Jr., Kevin Knox, Frank, those guys, and even Obi to a certain degree, because I know he wants to do great. And I don't have a doubt in my mind that he will. But, it's one thing to play in a stadium with fans, and I can tell you that, to playing with ones when it's empty. Because it really felt like watching them play practice last night.
Yeah.
Eric, welcome.
Hey guys, what's going on?
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, just to follow up to your point, Ron, a strange statistic or just a statistic is RJ, our boy, last year was 16.2 points on at home and 12.6 on the road. So you really see whether that or Knox that there is an impact, different players. So what will the impact be without that crowd now? Maybe whether, having coming to a level line about playing the same in both places and stuff like that. But he shot, for example, 30% on threes, but he shot better. It's crazy. He shot better at home on threes than he did on the road. And he shot better from the foul line on the road than at home. So it's all over the place.
Yeah.
Kevin, what do you think?
It's really twofold because you would expect some of these young players. RJ Barrett went to Duke, and I can tell you that crowds there are crazy. Kevin Knox went to Kentucky. It's not like they play in empty arenas. These players come from like
religion.
Yeah, in college basketball, Duke, Kentucky,
Carolina,
and North Carolina. Trust me, I went to NC State, so I know how the crowd can be there. So you would think that they would be used to this. But it does play to mind, especially when. And we all know how harsh New Yorkers and New York Knicks fans. We used to boo Patrick Ewing. One of the greatest players of all time was booed. So, it does play a role on you. You don't want to make a mistake and have 20,000 people get on you. But at the same time, you would want to do great so 20,000 people can cheer for you too. How many? We had crowds cheering MVP for what's his name, Beasley. So it's really twofold.
And as a kid playing and stuff, and whether it was on the court or in the room by yourself with your Nerf ball and stuff like that, you put up the shot and you're like, the crowd's going crazy. Fake one, put up my shot. And now now that also the fake fans and stuff, it's so surreal, man. It's like out of a weird movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think there's. I mean, my understanding, they play with noise. I guess they simulate crowd noise.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's probably not the same thing, but it's not like they're playing sound like you can hear the sneakers on the court or anything. But
you can also feel the tension when you're there. It's almost like, wow, man, this is crazy. I can feel it's like the vibration, the sound waves.
This is true.
You're watching college ball is the same thing. That's how I got used to watch. I was like the first 2 or 3 college ball games I was watching. I was like, this is weird. But then you got used to it. And then the bubble too. That's going to have a big advantage on teams like the Lakers, the Heat, Clippers, all the teams that were in the bubble.
Yep.
Because they're going to have kind of used to like the environment. Like the Knicks are just going to have to get used to. Well, they have to get used to playing basketball now first after such a bit of time off. But they'll just have to get used to no noise. But the playoff teams they've already had it.
Yeah. Hey, Ralph, what do you think?
No, actually, I'm a big fan of the basketball noise. I was watching a little bit of the highlights. I was trying to watch the whole. I want to watch the whole game, but I couldn't. So far, I mean, I haven't been lucky enough to find the whole game. I want to watch the whole game so I can look at it play for play. So, you guys looked out. I haven't. I want to watch the whole game and see it again, just like you guys did. So
yeah, but, and it's weird when you have that environment where you can stop a play, go back and see, and all of a sudden I saw a couple things that jumped off the page last night that we'll get into details in a few minutes. But it's like, wow, I love this thing.
Right. Hey, Ralph. Hey, what you might want to do, because I did it because DirecTV. I really don't. I'm sick of satellite. I hadn't had satellite in probably three years.
Right.
So I got those streaming boxes. I use those like the MX box.
I have a Roku stick. I don't know if that works.
Yeah, that'll work.
What I did is I got Amazon Prime.
I got Amazon Prime,
and you can pay $32 a month for the NBA League Pass, and that's how I watched it yesterday.
Okay.
That's every game, right? That you get every game that's on.
Yeah. Only if the game is blackout in your market, that'll be the only game that you won't see of the Knicks. Like if the Knicks playing like in Atlanta or Charlotte, I won't be able to see it on there. But then there's an app that you can put on your phone. All that box is called. I'll tell you in a minute. My brother-in-law gave it to me. It's called Dofu Sports.
Yeah.
And you can watch the games that way too. You can stream it right through your phone or your Roku.
Okay. I might do that then.
Cool. Yeah. Because they weren't showing any national games of any of the other preseason games. I just seen highlights.
Right. I don't want to see the highlights. I mean, I see enough highlights. I want to see the game. I want to see how the game is being dictated and all that. There's a lot. There's more. So there's more to the game. So I was like, you know what? I gotta stop these highlights addiction. I gotta watch the game.
Yeah. Talking to Guillermo, I have great respect for him. And when he does a lot of his videos, he wants to see the whole game. He doesn't want to go by the mixtapes of highlights and stuff like that. He wants to see the flow and see the whole game to make his. And I feel very strongly the same way.
Yeah.
Eric, welcome. Any thoughts on the guys playing, without a crowd?
My thing is, I think they're going to get used to it without seeing the crowd, the noise. They're going to get used to it. I think what happened was in the bubble, they started getting it. It was
just 1 second, fellas. Do you have all your apps off, Eric? I heard an echo a second ago. Just make sure everything's shut down, but StreamYard, okay? Just a couple of things so we can get everything nice for our viewership. Yeah, I heard you. Okay, keep going. We'll find out.
Okay.
Oh, I still hear somebody. Just everyone make sure, please, or thank you. Okay.
Okay, I'm good.
I don't think it's you.
Okay.
Somebody has a TV on.
Yeah, it's like a TV.
Let me see. All right, so
No, someone has
is,
the show repeating. I think. Yeah.
I think it's gone now.
Yeah,
I don't
just
have
make sure the only app you have is the only thing you're running StreamYard. Everything else should be shut down.
It should be paused, or at least pause it.
Yeah.
okay. So I was saying that the bubble, I think it was a precursor to what's going to happen this year. Players I think they're gonna adjust. And they're gonna adjust to the crowd, to the quote crowd noise of the pre-recorded noise.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's gonna go regular as usual. It's just without the interaction with the crowd and the actual crowd noise. And I think it's gonna be the same old.
Yep. Latrell, be well.
What's going on, guys? Yeah, I mean, no distractions. So there's going to be no distractions. So no Spike Lee celebrities that the young players can look at to get distracted.
Maybe they'll do a cutout.
Coaching, I think, will matter even more, because you're going to be able to hear better. You're going to be able. I think the coaches are going to be able to relay things easier to their guys. So for our young guys, especially, I think this actually is probably the best. This is going to be a good year where it's just not. I actually think it's good in a way. I'd love for the Knicks fans to be there, for us to be there, because it's special. But in a way, with a young team, I think it will help them. And then the other thing is, there's so many times. Yeah, we're hard on guys, no question. I mean, we boo players, our own guys, when they don't play well. But let's be real here. We also help our guys like crazy. We have powers as a fan base when we're in the crowd that, in my opinion, look, I go to a lot of Wizards games. They don't have powers in the stands. Nobody's there. They can't give them. I remember last year in the Wizards Stadium, us as Knicks fans, half of the crowd were Knicks fans. We got them through that game. I have certain powers. So, like, I know we're hard on our guys in the crowd, but for the most part, we give them the energy. And with that gone, they're going to have to create their own energy. So that's on the teammates. But all in all, it is what it is. I mean, there's nothing you can do.
They'll have their own energy. They're going to have Tom Thibodeau up their ass, because you've seen it already. At first preseason game, he's screaming and yelling at them. I can't imagine if Randle does that type of leaving his defender, Randle and RJ leaving a defender open in the regular season.
Yeah, the whole team is playing real good defense. There's a whole level of team defense on the whole team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were like wild dogs after the ball. It was good to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I'm sorry, Ralph.
No, I was just saying they're coached right. I was just gonna say they're being they're very well coached now. You can see the level of coaching.
Yeah.
I just got to say this real quick behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what I said? This can end up being further indictment on Fizdale. And I want to hear the national media what they got to say, because these are basically the same players from last year on the team, with the exception of a few.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
he is the national media now.
By the way, so last night ESPN was showing the Kings and Blazers game. Halftime, they did not show any of the highlights of the Knicks Piston game.
That's normal for ESPN.
Yeah,
you see the typical bias, right? Oh, and because Fizdale was there, like, okay, yeah, Crimea River.
Yeah, that's a perfect segue. I just wanted to get that little. Now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes and talk about our players and stuff, and our coach. So it was a great segue, Ron. That I just love watching Tibbs' intensity and his attention to detail, and also watching him in the replay today, working closely with his assistants, that you could see them talking about adjustments on the fly, pointing to different things. Just really, really like that. When you have a coach working the refs in preseason, you have a winner. The great teams always say that brutal practices, make the actual games easier, and Tibbs brings that mentality to the Knicks. And, Tibbs has the 11th best career winning percentage in history at 589.589%. And what you just said, Fizdale's press conferences after losses last year were congratulatory to his opponents. And Tibbs is from the Parcells and Belichick mindset. Show me a good loser, and I'll show you a loser. So I really love that. So, Ron, you want to go in a little more detail, your thoughts on Tibbs, and we'll go around the horn?
Yeah.
Man, when I watched that game yesterday, and more importantly, when I was watching it before I did that live today, it's funny because that's the first time like I really just looked at a game and just analyzed it. Like I was telling Kev and them guys and Joe earlier, it's funny when you look at a game from that aspect, you see things that you wouldn't see if you were just watching the game. For instance, what our rookie did when Obi, the most beautiful play of the night, when him and Kevin Knox had that little synergy going on, and Kev threw the ball to him and he dunked it. And initially, when I watched it in real time, I was like, why did he dunk that ball with his left hand? But then when I reviewed tape and I looked, I said, oh, now I see why he did that, because if he would have dunked with the right hand, it would have been a defender.
It'd be exposed to a defender.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, man. I said, I didn't even catch that in real time. So, but the coach, I wanted that guy, man, years ago. I wanted him ever since he left Chicago. And to see what I saw last night, it really took me back to the 90s Knicks, where everybody was flying. At times, it looked like the Knicks had 6 players on the floor. And I didn't see nobody just sitting open, shooting wide open jump shots. So my game ball last night goes to Tom Tibbs. And the other game ball to Leon Rose, because where everybody was talking about he shouldn't get Tibbs, he should go get somebody else. That guy stuck to his guns. And in business, it's all about relationships, from the owner getting him and to him getting Tibbs. So I think we in great hands, just like all states say, baby. We in good hands with Leon Rose and Tibbs.
Joe, you want to take it?
Yeah, I like Tibbs. There's going to be no bullshit. He's gonna get the team going. If you're not going to play hard, you're not going to play. And they say, like they were saying, Knicks fans were saying, "Oh, what Tibbs when he was with the Bulls, and he has a reputation of running his teams hard." Well, that's what he needs out of this team, because this team don't play hard at all. So, run, make them like I want to see the likes of Knox and Frank and these kids throwing up in practice. I want to hear all of that, because that means they're working and they're getting better.
Yeah.
And if they don't like it, that door.
Yep. Hey, Kev.
Yeah. Like Ron said, we had talked about it earlier, and Tibbs, I think, will hold these players accountable, and it's more than the lip service that David Fizdale gave us. I think the players know, there is no job security. And I think that holds true for Julius Randle, because he knows, hey, the heir apparent is right behind me. So let me step my game up. Because I don't think that Tibbs is, like I said, this ain't like he's Tim Duncan. I think Julius Randle can get the hook just like everyone else. And it takes a certain coach like a Tom Thibodeau, who's in the same mold as, Coach Pop or Spoelstra, to really hold these players accountable for, what they do on the court. And so it's very important having that kind of presence on the sideline. Like I told Ron, he was cussing and fussing last night. You would have thought we lost by 20, and we won the game. And so, like I said, you really can't put a value on that kind of coaching experience that he has.
Yeah. You see the culture change before our eyes. What do you think, Ralph?
Man, I mean, everybody makes so many great points that I even just want to add on to what Cleveland, Joe, and Kev just said. But it's not. I don't. The fortunate thing about Tibbs is that it's not just Tibbs alone. So it's not like it's not a one-man army. Or Tibbs and Leon Rose. He has a whole coaching staff that Obi can go to Kenny Payne, or he can talk to Johnny Bryant. So there's like so many weapons, so many options that the team, because Tibbs needs to be who he is. That role he's playing, the role he is as a coach, he needs to play that role, and other people have to play their role too, like Kenny Payne, and so that's that we're very fortunate that we're growing this thing as a whole, as a group. And a lot of people made a good point about Julius Randle, that he could get the hook and if he does something wrong, and it's a great point compared to if we're comparing last season. My whole thing is that I believe like we should be talking about Mitchell Robinson, because that's the point. That's the person that Tibbs is talking about, right? Right now, the person that's in the hot seat, sort of, that Tibbs ignored to talk about when we talked about a starter, was Mitchell Robinson. So I feel like, I feel like people, and compare, if you talk about last season, yeah, you should be mad about Randle and his defense and holding onto the ball. But if you really want to listen to what Tibbs is talking about, he's talking about Mitchell Robinson right now. So I feel like we should be talking about, listen, if I was Mitchell Robinson, I'll be getting my act together more. That's what I would like to focus, because that's what he's talking about.
Can I tell you this, Moses? I don't mean to cut you off, but to defend you, man, because you've been one of the staunch Randle supporters, man. I must say, and when I did my video talking about Randle calling guys out, saying playtime is over, Randle was one of the guys I looked at. I said, let me see that Kentucky Randle. And from what I saw last night, the guy has bought in on the defensive side, and more importantly, when he got chewed out, I was waiting to see how he was going to respond. And when he went back on the court, he accepted the discipline and he changed his ways. And so to me, that's a plus. He had a couple lapses, but overall, man, I saw a different Julius Randle on that court. And anybody who say otherwise, I don't know what game they was watching. And I went back and watched it again. He played differently, man. The whole team did.
Good. I didn't see that. See, I'm glad you were able to mention this in the conversation, because like I said before, I haven't been able to watch the replay. I'm trying to watch the replay. So as soon as I finish this thing, I might just like go to Amazon, spend the $32 a month.
Yeah, go ahead and get it, man.
Yeah, and go in and get it. But
when you watch it, there was a poignant camera shot where Obi came off the court after a foul and stuff, and then walked over, and it was both Woody and Payne.
Right.
And you saw Payne like smiling at him and tapping him like a father figure, and Woody's right next to him is like showing him technique about holding the ball a certain way, and you could see that it was really nice, man, to see that immediately, showing him, hey, next time you want to do this, but in a way that was constructive.
Right. And in Tibbs also, see, not just the players can benefit, but Tibbs learns to trust his rookies, which he's known to have a reputation for not playing rookies. Like, he has that reputation coming like, hey, he doesn't really like rookies. Rookies take long to learn. But when you have a Kenny Payne, Tibbs can say, you know what? Kenny Payne is constant. Every game, Kenny Payne and Johnny O'Brien is helping so it keeps him on the floor. He don't have to keep him on the bench and say, hey, we got to send him to the G League or take away his minutes. He can say, you know what? Let me give him some minutes. Let me give him a second chance. We're constantly building this thing. I don't want to hold up all the time. I want to give Eric a chance and Latrell Sprewell a chance. And once my time, I'll bring it up again.
Cool. Eric, want to run?
All right. So I got 2 words. Coaching matters. And you saw it front on display right off the tip-off. The way that they play defense, and the overall, I think overall, it was a different aura about the team. Because you can see, right, you can see the intensity, you can see the attention to details, you can see the overall cohesion of the team. It's way different than last year under Fizdale, which was a mess. Because last year I went to like a good 10 games, and it was okay, what's going on here? We're trying to get this, that, and the whole confusion of rotations. You see the whole cohesiveness of the rotation wise, who he puts in, who he subs out, who he subs in, um, play development, the each of the play calling. It's just the little details of 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 the team of what happened last night. And I just think that the only way that they can go they can go up, you know. So they can't get worse than last year. I mean, come on. Last year was just a joke on how the team was just constructed.
Oh yeah.
And now you see, okay, you see the coaching, the development at the same time, but also you see the discipline. So all that is going to intertwine. So I believe that this season is going to be more of development, coaching, and discipline, and they're going to be far much better than they were all last year.
Yeah, we're all cool. We've been around the block. We know it's one game, but we're seeing positive baby steps, man, and that's all we want: momentum in the right direction versus our past history. Be well. What do you think?
So, this is my take on Tibbs. Number one, he wanted to come here. That's first of all. He could have went. I'm not saying he had a million offers, but he could have went to a better situation, no doubt, with his track record. So that's number one. So you get the benefit of the doubt with me because you wanted to come here. That's number one. Number two, he's been here before. He knows. 20 years ago, I'm watching the game this afternoon of Game 1 of the 1999 Eastern Conference Finals for a study I'm doing on my channel. I'm doing some highlight videos from that series. And I'm looking at Tom Thibodeau. He's on the bench, and he's got hair. He was here. He was here. So I think he's willing to put in the work. He knows this season, this is not about wins and losses this season. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but this is about development. He's trying to build in a foundation. He's willing to put in the hard work. So for me, you're a hard worker. You have a track record. You know New York. You know what the fans like. And I think the most important thing is he believes in the same things we believe. We believe in having a tough defense. We believe in being a gritty team. Now, I understand the NBA has changed, and Tom Thibodeau is going to have to adjust. And he's not – I'm sure we're going to criticize Tom Thibodeau at times this year. That's just part of the deal. But the bottom line is when we talk about anything with Tom Thibodeau, we have to have trust. And I have trust in him because of – he's been here. He knows us. And so if it's going to turn around, I really believe it's going to be with this guy. I really believe it in my heart. Because maybe I'm too optimistic of a person, but the last 20 years, I need something to believe in. So I'm going to believe in this guy, even through the tough times.
Yep. For our Knicks at Night family, please hit that subscribe. Please hit that reminder. And please hit that like button. Let's support Freezy. Let's get this thing going. We really appreciate all you do for us. So we'll shift over and we'll go into our Obi. And,
I think Kev having a problem, Steve. Kev, we can't hear you. Oh, okay.
I wanted to ask a question to Latrell right quick before we segue into something.
Sure, man.
And it's something that I get on Guillermo with often. Is you said it's not about wins and losses, it is about development. And so my question is, why can't development and winning coexist?
It can. I think it's more. I'll take that back. It's important to win games. Like I'm also realistic. Like if the New York Knicks this season lose, okay, they win 20 to 25 games, but they're in every game and they're competing. Like, and when I mean competing, I'm talking about what we saw last night. If they can give that effort consistently and they just lose games, I'd like to see them finish games. That's the next step. But if they're in games this year and they're giving that type of effort and it's just a talent deficit and I'm seeing what I need to see from a development perspective, I'm okay with it. But you're right. Winning is a part of how you change the culture too. I get that. So you're right, Kevin. I mean, I want to see wins. We eventually it can't just be we're going to be terrible and get the draft pick. I get that. But I'm more so when I guess my point is Thibodeau's willing to put in the hard work this year because he realizes it's still a lot about development this season. It just is. We have to accept that. We're not ready.
Freezy, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think Kevin is wrong as two left shoes. and I think the pretty well is the American dream co-sign that mess for the sake of friendship. You can't win and develop at the same time. You know why? Because if you're winning, you don't need to be developed. I guess that was my. And then at the same time, if you need development, that means you're incapable of winning at the level that you want to aspire to. That's the reason why you develop. You know what I'm saying? So here's my thing with it. You can't guide your group, regardless who it is, in two directions at the same time. You know what I mean? It's so as a military person with some military expertise, you can't send like mixed messages to the troops. Basically, is what I'm getting at. Like say for instance, if you have this young core and you want that young core to develop, then every ounce of resource that you have should go into developing. Kind of like how Stephen Fox is helping me with the Knicks at Night podcast, right? So I'm not aspiring to be SNY yet, right? I'm just developing this right here, right? And taking baby steps by fine-tuning stuff here and there in order to make sure every ounce of progress that we make is positive progress. But even with that said, positive progress is not linear. Like it's not going to be a deal where everything is going to be straightforward all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's like the production of this show is sometimes we have great progress and then we plateau, right? And then we try to figure it out. Like, okay, why did we plateau? And then we have great progress and then we plateau. And then we say, hey, and so what I'm getting at is when you bring in young, like say your young core, say if you want Knox to start, right? You have to live with Knox developing as a starter. You basically take winning and say, hey, we really want to win and we want to win with Knox, but we got to live with the mistakes that Knox makes on our way to becoming a winning basketball team. You can't throw guys that are not developed out there and expect them to win an NBA championship or formulate a dynasty. That's the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal for us is to not only win playoff games, but become NBA champs and hopefully become a dynasty. You know, but you can't do that because Kevin Knox is not ready. Frank Ntilikina is not ready to be a championship point guard. RJ Barrett is not ready to be a champion yet, even though in their hearts they feel like they should be or they can, but they hadn't been to the playoffs yet. They don't know what it's like when the bullets start flying. You know what I'm saying? So to speak. So I kind of disagree with I disagree with Kev and Latrell Sprewell need to stop co-signing that.
I think Kevin wants to answer that. Take it, Kev.
So here's my thing. You say that because you brought up Kevin, not because that's my favorite Knick, but you say Kevin Knox isn't ready because you had to live with the mistakes. Now I'll say this: is Julius Randle a veteran? Would you consider him a veteran? Because that's like saying
that's not
because no. Because you said Kevin Knox. So that means if Julius Randle is so-called one of these veterans and ascending player, why did you say that about Kevin Knox, but not someone like Julius Randle? Because Julius Randle makes just as many mistakes as Kevin Knox would.
But I said that in the beginning, though. I said I'm going to use Kevin Knox as an example. Like when I first started my rebuttal. The thing is with the first. Let me say this. Like in the response to the thing, like when I heard your point, I understood your point, and I replied to it with a statement. But then you asked me a question, so it makes me think that you're hiding something about Knox. So what is it? Are you trying to get to another?
Come on, man, you got something up your sleeve. Let us know.
No, I thought you were using Knox against me because you know that. No. I thought you were using Knox against me because you know that's my favorite Knick.
No,
and so I wanted to come to his defense. Like this isn't about. And here's the thing: Tom Thibodeau is going to play I believe that Tom Thibodeau is not going to purposely lose games for the sake of anything.
He wants to win.
So
I don't think there's any question about that.
If he starts Kevin Knox, that means in his eyes, Kevin Knox is ready to start. He's not going to start him just for the sake of starting him. No, he feels like Kevin Knox has taken the necessary steps in order to be an NBA starter.
Kevin, do you think this roster is good enough to compete right now for a playoff spot in your eyes?
A playoff spot?
Yes.
How many teams are in the Eastern Conference?
15, right?
15. So 10 technically can this year.
That's the number.
10
right?
of the 15 can compete for a playoff spot. So do I think this can be a top 10 team in the East? Yes.
Okay. I hope you're right. I mean, I'd love to see it.
Like I said, a lot of stuff have to come together for that to happen. These players have to take the necessary steps. And I'm pretty sure the writing is on the wall that if this is going in the right direction, that a move will be made to help boost, the momentum that we're getting.
So I'm gonna jump in right here. So God of Moses and Elijah were talking about this very topic earlier. Not the content of the statement that you just made, but the fact that sometimes we bring up a topic and we don't do the respectful, full deep dive into what the point is and why it was made. You know what I'm saying? And so this is a spot right here that we can pause and take a deep breath and take a deep dive into what you just said about can you develop and win at the same time, right? Mm-hmm. So for one, we need to establish what the end goal in development is. Like just saying develop is a broad overview. We probably need to dive into that some more and establish the fact of what winning means to us also. So winning in my eyes is not just winning a championship, but being a championship contender where you can win multiple. You have you're in the space where you can win multiple championships, say in a certain 5 or 6 year window, right? Nobody has a 10, 12 year window. That's you just don't have that in sports anymore. But the fact that we say win is something like we need to establish that. Like winning to me, to Uncle Freezy, means the Knicks are a championship contender, a top 5 team in the NBA every year for a 5 to 6 year window. Not necessarily meaning winning a championship 5 or 6 years, because that'd be amazing, and I would love it. I would probably get a Knicks throat tattoo right here if we won 5 or 6 in a row.
Hell yeah, I'd be pulling a Fred Sanford.
right. But also development is the other thing we need to deep dive into too, and not just in a singular sense, like hey, just make the kids get better. I'm talking about. I use the New Jersey Devils as an example. The New Jersey Devils were in a situation where they used to get beat every year. And then Jacques Lemaire brought the neutral zone trap to New Jersey, right? He was like, hey, listen, when we try to beat these teams straight up playing their style every year, we can't do it, right? So what we'll do is run a system where we can get a system that fits the guys that always come along in our pipeline, right? And once we do that, then we'll groom the assistant coaches and the coaches. Everybody in the organization understands what it is that we're looking to do. We're a neutral zone trap team, right? And teams that play us will understand that, right? So I think the Knicks need to get into a mindset where they have a system. Now, I know y'all want to say, well, Tibbs is going to do the defenses. Well, I'm here to tell you that no matter how much defense you play, right, you have to score the basketball. So we have to establish an identity of what it is that we want to do. I watched Jerry Tarkanian turn the University of Nevada at Las Vegas from a team that used to get bludgeoned out west. And every 2 or 3 years, they would get one kid from New York City, and he would just go out there and score 30 points a game, right? But he implemented this thing. He recruited guys into a neutral zone trap. I mean, not the amoeba defense, basically, for in basketball terms. So he recruited guys. He said, I'm going to recruit the best athlete at the position every year, regardless of their skill level. Just recruit the best athletes. And what we're going to do is we're going to impose our will on teams by putting the best athletes on the floor every minute of every game. That way, regardless of how much skill the other team has, they have to outperform the best athletes on the planet, right? And so I say that to about the Knicks. Like you legit see teams like the Miami Heat develop a system where they can plug guys into that system, and regardless of their athletic ability or skill level, if they fit the system, they'll thrive. And if they don't fit the system, they'll trade them away, aka Josh Richardson, aka or Justice Winslow, guys like that.
Whiteside, yeah.
So we're looking to develop. What we need to do is establish something. I hadn't seen it from Tibbs. All I've heard right now is defense. But eventually, we will have to develop something that's niche to the Knicks, so that pipeline of, like, for instance, we always hit on a certain type athlete, right? We always hit on a certain type guy. We have to develop a system where that player type that we always hit on is successful in New York. You get what I'm saying, Kev? Like, I know that was long-winded.
No.
What I'm saying.
What I am alluding to is getting kind of misconstrued. What I'm saying is people have this notion that when you rebuild or when you try to develop, it takes 3-4 years to do before the players are at that peak level. But what I'm saying is a rebuild is steps. Now, the steps don't always have to be at the same pace that another team's rebuild is. Another team's rebuild might take 2-3 years because their steps are slower than others.
There's all these variables. Exactly.
Exactly. What I'm saying is, I don't want to make it in, like, put it all in one box. Like, a rebuild is this. This is what a rebuild is. You got to go through this, and this in order for your team to go from A to B. If you feel like the players that are on the New York Knicks are talented and you have a coaching staff that has a extensive history in development, will put these talented players in the best positions for them to succeed. And then it's up to the individual player. Now, from all accounts, players like Kevin Knox and RJ Barrett. I'm not going to say Mitch because I don't really know. But I know Kevin Knox, RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin have put in the work that the coaches have asked them to put in over 9 months. I mean, that's a full season by itself right there. So let's say that's basically an extra season of them just doing nothing but working. So the mindset should be there. Like, this is what the coach expects from me. I have to up my game because it's in me. The talent is in me to succeed. And I know that these people are going to put me in the best possible positions to succeed. So my thing is, I don't think it's going to take forever for that to happen. But the thing about Knicks fans is we've been losing for so long that we're just like, you know what, it's going to be whatever because it's already been this long.
Yeah, you're conditioned.
Exactly. People are just conditioned to losing. It's just like they just become okay with it.
I mean, look, I'm trying to be realistic with this thing. Can we win games this year? Yeah, we can win games. Although our schedule, I don't know if you've looked at the first 20 games, how many are on the road?
Yeah.
A lot of road games.
That's the first half schedule is very misconceived. It's misconceiving because people think we're on the road a lot. But out of the first 36 games, 19 of them are on the road. That means we have 2 more road games in the first half than home games.
I'm talking about the first 20 games.
We open up the discussion with, how could you tell now?
Yeah, I just want to add one thing to what Kevin said, if it's okay. Kevin's right. I mean, not every rebuild is the same, and you're right on that. I just think we can't skip steps, and I think this season still, it would be great to win games, be a playoff team, and if that happens this year, I would be so happy. That would be great. I'm not against winning, just because we're not going to win a championship this year. I think we all can agree to that. I mean, how you develop players, a part of it is to get them to understand what it takes to win. And you have to do that by winning. So I agree with you. All I'm saying is that this year for me is still about young guys that have never been there before, that still do not know how to play to be able to get to that level. So a lot of things have to be developed. So to me, it's still more about development than competing for a playoff spot. If I have to pick between the two, if I don't have to pick between the two, I'd like to do both. Of course.
I'm going to say something right now, and then I'll leave it alone, because I just want to point out something you just said. You said the players that they haven't been there. Miami just went to the finals last year, right?
Yes.
Has been there. Let's just say 3 of their key contributors were Bam Adebayo, Duncan Robinson, and Tyler Hero, right?
Yes.
Have they ever been there before?
No, but Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero are a lot more talented than the guys on our team.
Is Tyler Hero more talented than RJ Barrett?
No.
Is Bam Adebayo really that much more talented than Mitchell Robinson?
Hold on, I'll say
really in the grand scheme of things.
Yes.
Tyler Hero is a much ready for the NBA than RJ Barrett is right now.
He's what? I didn't hear you.
He's more NBA ready than RJ Barrett is right now.
Who?
Tyler Hero.
Tyler Hero.
What are you, crazy, man?
Because
They're in two different category of player.
Tyler Hero in the playoffs last year proved himself. He was a great shooter.
He also disappeared too last year in the playoffs.
Actually, defense.
Yeah, he had some struggles. There were times that he struggled, but he took the next. I saw him take the next step. But I'm not saying no. I don't want you to get it twisted. Do I think RJ Barrett is going to be a better player than Tyler Hero is? Yeah, but Tyler Hero to me took the step. Was he a rookie last year? He was a rookie last year.
Yeah,
right?
him and RJ were both rookies. So you can't sit here, but you
kind of proving Kev's point. You can't try to put these guys really in a box right now, because what the overwhelming thing that I've been hearing thus far from this one game is we can't read too much into these players because it's just the first game. That's what I keep hearing.
RJ Barrett can do more things than Tyler Hero can on the basketball court, but his shooting, my point is he was ready to contribute more for that team.
Because of the role that he was in.
Yeah.
And the surrounding cast that allowed him to be free to get a lot of those shots.
Let me ask this then. Okay, that's fair. That's a fair point, Kevin. I'll accept that. Look, I think RJ Barrett is a better player than Tyler Hero. I'll take that back. All I'm saying is last season, Tyler Hero to me, yes, it's different teams. It's different circumstances. What RJ has to do for our team is different. I get it. It's all about roles. Get the whole thing. But Bam Adebayo, I think, is different. Bam Adebayo, I mean, if we're ranking him among all NBA players, he's a top.
Don't you say top 10?
Top 40, 30 player? Around there? Is that fair? Top 30?
I can take that.
Yeah.
I can take that.
Okay.
Who on our team, do we have a top 30 player on our team?
I can tell you this, in my book, he should have been top 30. Mitchell Robinson.
Now, my thing is this, and you have to look at this also. Look at and this is the big thing. This has been the big thing since Pat Riley has been in Miami. The culture, this is what Miami has, and I'll say that Miami has a huge head start over us. The culture in Miami is what the Knicks are trying to get with Thibodeau.
Yes. The culture's way better.
But my main thing was, you said, now again, that was your point. You said the players that we have now. If the players that we have buy into the culture that Tom Thibodeau is implementing, that I don't think it's going to be as bad of a season as people think. I think that this team will be there.
We don't have Jimmy Butler, to be fair, though.
We have Julius Randle, but they're definitely
Jimmy Butler's a top 10 player, so that's also
that's what I'm saying. We aren't going to be as good as Miami, but we're not going to be horrible as people think. We're not going to have the number one pick. Of all the people in the chat, please forget about Kate Cunningham, because we're not going to be like a top 3 team in the draft this year.
As long as we get Josh Christopher for Guillermo, I think we're cool.
Right. I just want to say, I disagree with Freezy about rebuilding and winning. I think you could I've seen Chris Paul and the OKC Thunder do it with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luguentz Dort, and Darius Baisley, and they so they did go to the playoffs, and they did take so they're not the only team. It's not only Miami that
were they like fourth or fifth in the West last year?
Fifth, maybe sixth. I don't know. It's tough.
So yeah, so it's not like they snuck in either.
Right.
They're two. By the way, they're two different players. I don't mean to cut this off, but this got me excited. I mean, it is a very interesting topic what you brought up, Kevin, between the Heat Cold. That was an interesting question that you asked me. I'll just say this: Hero and RJ are completely different players. RJ is a slasher, getting to the basket. He's athletic. He's not a shooter. He's not a traditional shooting guard. That's not who he's going to be. We like the shooting to get better, but he's never going to be a normal, natural shooting guard. Tyler Hero is today's NBA. He's ready-made for the shooting guard position. They're just different in how they play.
Different is, I put it like this. Michael Jordan and Reggie Miller were two different players, but they were both shooting guards.
Yes.
So why does a shooting guard have to be in a box? How come you can't have a shooting guard?
As long as the bottom line of production.
I think we just have to use RJ differently. That's all I'm saying.
So the point is, at two guard, would you rather start with RJ or Tyler Hero?
At the two guard, are we talking about
today, right now? Would you rather have RJ Barrett or Tyler Hero?
I'll take RJ. But I think you're underestimating how actually close it is right now. Like it's close.
It's close because
Hero only affects the game on one side of the ball, offensively.
It's close because of the role that Tyler Hero plays in Miami. But if Tyler Hero was in New York,
and
RJ Barrett was in Miami, oh my God,
that's a different question.
Oh my God, is right.
That's a different question. That's a completely different question. It depends also the team that they're on. I mean, Tyler Hero in that role.
Yeah, exactly. If
you put RJ Barrett on the Heat, I'm not necessarily sure they make the finals last year.
Oh.
But swap out Hero.
You say RJ Barrett on that team? Oh, they make it.
If you put RJ Barrett on the team and swap out Hero for the shooting that Hero gave that team, he and Duncan Robinson, that's what made the Heat special. That's what made them different.
The thing you're doing is you're basing it off what you saw. If you have them guys in different situations, Tyler Hero wouldn't have looked that good in New York. Let's just be real. We didn't have no system.
I agree.
We didn't have no system. So that's the main thing. And, when I made the comment, someone asked a question about, I think you asked a question about Mitch and Bam. And I said, I think Mitch is better. Let this sink in from last year. We all remember Mitch broke Will Chamberlain's record, right? Completion percentage.
Come on. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck's
percentage don't matter, but you know what year that was? When Will made that record?
I love RJ.
Was the year I was born.
I love
and he did that with a coach with no system. We didn't have nothing in place.
To the commenter, I just want to say I love RJ. I love RJ. It's nothing. I'm just saying today it's different situations. If you put Tyler Hero in New York, it's different roles. I was just talking about if you put RJ on the Heat, he's not a great shooter yet. He can improve the shooting, but that's what made the Heat special. That was my only point. But I love RJ. He's going to be great. He's going to be a great player.
If I could jump in real quick, I just wanted to cut God of Moses and Elijah head off about the point he made about the rebuild. Hey man, are you legit saying that a rebuild can be done linear and in a vacuum, and then bring up potentially the greatest point guard of all time as just a small piece? I mean, you can't necessarily do that. You gotta. You other teams when and I'll say this about the rebuild and I think I'll probably try. I'm trying to make the point better. For one, the Knicks are not getting Hall of Fame players coming to New York to help with the rebuild. Period. That's not happening via trade nor via free agency. Right. Two, the Knicks don't get the #1 pick. You know what I'm saying? We don't get those lucky bounces other franchises get. Like people can say, "Oh, look at the Pelicans rebuild." But at the same time, they had the #1 pick with Anthony Davis, and they had the #1 pick with Zion Williamson. right? You can't put the Knicks in that same thing as other teams. Like for instance, people say, well, the Phoenix Suns got hot and they went 8-0 in a bubble. Guess what? The Phoenix Suns got the number 1 pick in the draft and drafted DeAndre Ayton. You know what I'm saying? So we can't say these things in a vacuum about the Knicks. Our rebuild is going to be different. We can't look at ourselves like if we say if it's college basketball, the New York Knicks will never be Duke, right? The Knicks will have to address it as if we're Gonzaga. Big time athletes aren't coming here. Well, now they go to Gonzaga, but say for the last 20 or so years they didn't go to Gonzaga. Like Duke is not the North Carolina Tar Heels or Kentucky Wildcats of college basketball. You know what I mean? The Knicks are a niche place. Even though we're the biggest, we're still niche. Free agents aren't coming here. Like Giannis is not licking his chops to come here. Anthony Davis didn't even consider us. LeBron James wasn't coming here. So what we have to do is get a system in place and play it, similar to what y'all said about the Miami Heat, like when y'all were talking about the Miami Heat just now. And then when you say the Miami Heat in the rebuild, too, and I know this is going to sound like, totally contradictory to what I said, but the Miami Heat luckily got a Jimmy Butler to come, right? And so it made their rebuild easier. I use Miami Heat as an example of us putting a system in place, but not as in terms of the rebuild. All right, like we legit keep comparing ourselves to other organizations. We're not them, and they're not us. If we could rebuild like them, we'd already have championships. But we have a different situation. Free agents aren't coming here. Free agents that want to take their brand to the next level are not coming to New York, period. And no matter how many times we say it, we're going to say, well, we can rebuild. All we have to do is win a few games and we'll look more attractive. No, I've been a Knicks fan. I've been a hardcore Knicks fan since 1976. How many times do we have to sign Martell Webster, the human eraser? Y'all not frustrated by that? Y'all not frustrated by trading for Antonio McDyess?
Oh, geez.
Y'all not frustrated by trading for Steve Francis, Penny Hardaway, Jalen Rose? I mean,
didn't we have Coutinho Mobley too?
Coutinho Mobley. I mean, come on, man. I mean, at some point, we have to stop banging our head against the wall and realize who we are.
But I'm just letting you speak. I want to respond, but I'm just letting you speak.
Hey, man. Hey, we got all night, baby. We got all night. What I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is with what God of Moses and Elijah is saying, in a vacuum, if our team wasn't named the New York Knicks, like say for instance, if our team was named San Antonio Spurs, I could legit agree with what he's saying, right? Or say if the team name was the LA Clippers, I can legit understand what he's saying, right? But we have to build this thing as if we're the other franchise that were trash like us, the LA Clippers. You know what I'm saying? Like the LA Clippers legit were in the same boat that we are. A supersized market, a market with two teams. Free agents even though it was Los Angeles, free agents didn't want to go to the Clippers. And it's the same thing with the Knicks. We're in New York, but free agents are not coming here. And we're not getting the number 1 pick, right? Mm-mm. And no matter how many years, we say this over and over about this time of year, about December, we're like, oh, whoever the number 1 pick is in the draft, we can get them and it'll turn around our fortunes. Wrong. It never happens. It never happens. In the summertime come, we get we start looking at our chops for all the high price free agents, and guess what? They never come. We just went through this with a Russell Westbrook, a Chris Paul, all these guys, and guess where those guys are in different places. You know what I mean? So when I say rebuild, we have to establish a system. We have to take the small school approach to winning. And I know that sounds disrespectful for a city as big as New York, but we have to legit say, hey, we're going to take this Kevin Knox, and it's going to take Kevin Knox 5 years to be ready. And New York Knicks fans are going to be like, 5 years? That's crazy. Such and such for the Sixers was ready in 1 year. Hey, we're not them. You know what I mean? Even the Washington Wizards got the number 1 pick 1 year. They selected John Wall. The Knicks don't get the number 1 pick. We have to legit get our guys and be patient. Put a system in place and let these kids marinate in that system until they're ready to grow together. Because veterans are not coming here. Go ahead, Chuck. I know you want to chop my head off. Go ahead.
No, I
One second. Let Ralph.
Yeah, I wanted to talk. Yeah, I was waiting.
Yeah, go, Ralph.
He made some good. You said your point before I got
okay.
on.
So then, all right.
Go ahead.
You sure you want me to make? I really want to say something. The question was, can the Knicks win and rebuild? And I said yes. Also, this year's 10 playoff spots. Also, Freezy, you made, it was tough, but you did make some good points. The Knicks are no different than any small market team. I would say that, right? I would say that the Knicks are no different than small market teams. When it comes to the draft, I don't disagree with you about the number 1 pick. But we do got an RJ Barrett who played with Zion Williamson, and supposedly RJ Barrett, that Duke team was RJ Barrett's team. So it's we do have someone special too at that. So you don't have to always have the number 1 pick. You could get the number 3 pick and still have someone special. So it doesn't have to be the number 1 pick. So that's my second point to that. So my other point that I wanted to say, look, at the end of the day, I want to finish. I want to keep it short because I want to let everybody speak, because everybody wants to talk too. But you don't need the number 1 pick to be a contender. That's not necessarily true. It's facts. It has a lot of weight. It holds a lot of weight, but it doesn't need to be. The Michael Jordan wasn't drafted number 1.
Raphael, the Lakers are the NBA champs, right? The Lakers are the NBA champs. Do they have the number 1 pick on their roster?
Michael Jordan was number 3.
Hey, LeBron James played for the Lakers.
LeBron and AD.
Right? LeBron James was the number 1 pick in the draft. Anthony Davis was the number 1 pick in the draft.
You don't have to be fixated. You could be if you choose to be fixated on today's Lakers, you could, but you don't have to be. There's still a way. If you obsess about how the Lakers, Golden State 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we were obsessing how Golden State were the champions, and everybody's like, "Oh, we got to do it like Golden State." They didn't draft number 1, and they won 3 chips.
Steph Curry was number 7.
They had a number 1 pick on their roster, Raphael. I keep saying that if you want to win a championship, you have to have.
They weren't number 1 overall.
Who was number 1 on Golden State?
Guys were number 1 overall. They were just first round picks. They were never.
No. Y'all wrong. Y'all wrong. Everybody on here is absolutely wrong. Every NBA champion is going to have the a guy that's been the number 1 pick on their roster, an elite level talent. And y'all say Golden State didn't,
number 1
right?
pick on the roster, not number 1 overall pick. Okay,
right.
I see what you're saying.
Right. And,
so we have a lot of those.
So y'all are gonna say
Andrew Bogut was the number 1 pick. Somebody wrote that in the chat.
Bogut.
Andrew, exactly. That's what I'm telling you. Andrew Bogut was the number 1 pick in the draft.
Andrew Bogut was even on the last 2 championship teams.
He was back in Australia.
So let's sign Anthony Bennett then. Let's sign Anthony Bennett.
Okay. So y'all are laughing and joking, right? But here's the thing: how did Golden State didn't get over the hump until they acquired Andrew Bogut? They had Monte Ellis. Monte Ellis was that first round pick that y'all hold near and dear. Like all you need is a high first round pick. Monte Ellis was a high first round pick, right? They couldn't get over the hump. They traded for a guy that was a number 1 pick, and they won a championship. So no matter what it is that you say, man, you have to
let's get Kwame Brown
in the draft.
Hold on. Let's say this. If you had the top 10 players in the NBA right now, it's the top 10, how many of them were the number 1 pick? Like 3,
I understand you. But Kevin, I understand you want to divert from the point, man. But the point is the Knicks don't get the number 1 pick in the draft. And so we have to do it based off of what you're saying. Like what you're saying is You don't necessarily need the number one pick, right? And I'm here to tell you that if you don't get the number one pick, your rebuild is going to be slow, right? And unlucky and unfortunate. And I'm not coming to y'all saying that I'm doom and gloom. I'm just being a realist. Like for instance, if the Knicks had got the number one pick last year, would we be in the same situation we're in right now?
If they got it last year,
no.
Depending on who they would have picked.
If the Knicks,
depends who they would have picked.
Right. So if they had taken John Morant, number one, would we be in the same situation? Would we be still having the same conversation?
I don't know, because we still had a dumb coach. Well, I shouldn't say dumb, because that's disrespectful. But we didn't have a good coach. But talent trumps a lot of bad, cover up a lot of bad coaching mistakes too. So.
Let's go after
right.
Fultz. Markelle Fultz was the number one pick. Let's go for Markelle Fultz.
Yes, I like Markelle Fultz. Why are you trying to make a joke with him?
I'm half joking though. You got to read into it. I'm half joking, half serious.
I like it.
He does fill a position of need.
And so if you want to use the outlier, here's the other outlier. The NBA champ, the defending NBA champ, had 3 guys picked number 1 in NBA draft. There's your other outlier. How about that one? Since we're going outliers. Since you want to pick the worst guy possible, I'm going to pick the best case scenario.
How many teams?
You reckon they had Dwight Howard too?
But here's the thing: Dwight Howard is past his prime. He's number one. It's not like he's number 1 in his prime. Like he's still like in his prime. He's not. He's closer to the end of his career than the beginning. So that is but the point still remains.
Yeah.
The point. Hey, okay. Since y'all argued the Lakers don't count, right? Right. Y'all argued the Lakers didn't count, and y'all argued that the Golden State Warriors didn't count. Who was the dynasty before them? The Miami Heat, San Antonio Spurs.
Let me also validate this point. How Golden State built their dynasty is completely different from how the Lakers just built their. The Lakers just bought a championship.
Yeah.
Smart GM, smart president.
The point is still the same. They still had a number 1 pick on their roster. No matter how much icing y'all try to put on this cake, the fact is that a championship team is going to have a number 1 pick on their roster. And even if you skip these last 2 or 3 and go back to the Miami Heat and San Antonio Spurs, how many number 1 picks did the San Antonio Spurs have on their championship roster when they were winning chips? Did they have a number 1 pick?
But when we think about that,
yes.
To you, what you're saying though.
What about the Miami Heat?
You think about the
Cleveland Cavaliers? That's the same one. It's the same player.
Hey, most of the players that are in the NBA are first-round picks.
So you talking about someone different.
I mean, think about it. Most of the players in the NBA are first-round picks. A lot of those second-round picks don't make it. So, I mean, that goes here nor there. I mean, we know they're going to be first-round picks. Now, if you're saying first overall pick, that's different.
Who's the number 1 pick on the Chicago Bulls?
Hold on, let me burst your bubble.
1 second. Let's get Chuck into here, man. Hey, yeah. Chuck, how are you?
I'm good.
I see you looking up at the sky. You looking for divine intervention or something?
No, I'm trying to figure a few things out. Everybody's wrong. Are you saying the first round pick or the first pick in the draft? Freezy.
The number 1 pick in the draft is what I keep saying.
Okay,
the Knicks are not going to get it.
Okay, hold on. All right. That's a terrible take, and I don't even think I should go into that. That's real bad. You should have talked that over. Now, Harold versus RJ. I had this debate. I went with Harold, and I won the debate. And I would win the debate again based on the people in here that think RJ's better. Rob, why did you bring up Mitch field goal percentage? I just need to know.
Why I brought that up is because I'm looking at potential. I'm not talking about where them guys at right now. I mean, a blind man know right now that Bam is the better player. But I'm looking at what I would take when them boys' career's over. I'm looking at where Mitch going to be and where he's going to be. Because now Mitch finally got proper coaching. And I think Mitch going to end up being the better player. But right now, currently, ain't A blind man know Bam is better right now, but I'm going with Mitch long range.
Oh, okay, all right. The field goal percentage had nothing to do with potential, and you picked Wiltz last year, because last year when he was washed, when he averaged the least amount of points in his career, to target a record that was broken.
That percentage is still last. It still lasts. It didn't break until this year. I'm 47 years old. That record got made when I was born.
And he set that record when he was washed.
Regardless, the record was set. Ain't nobody broke it. Wash or not.
That meant he slowed down and everything was at the basket.
Is it not a record?
Mitch broke it by having everything at the basket.
Hey, we can't take away what the guy done. Now, come on now, Chuck. We can't do that now.
Rob, you're talking about a record that was set with 9.
And I'm not Rob. My name Ron.
Oh, Ron?
Yeah, R-O-N, not R-O-B.
The Raptors didn't have a number
big
one
difference.
pick, by the way.
Yeah, big
Somebody
difference.
Somebody in the chat just wrote the Raptors didn't have a number one pick. Yeah, I see that.
But I mean, I get what you're saying too, Chuck. I get what you're saying. It takes more to just be around the basket and getting putbacks and dunks. But yeah. I think if Mitch lives up to that potential with this coach and we don't ship him, which I'm kind of afraid still might happen, I think he could have a great career with us. Hopefully it be with us and not somebody else.
Yeah, when you glorify 74%, you also glorify 9 points. And he did it at that pace. That's not impressive at all. Did the Pistons have first pick, number 1 picks?
They just had. I mean, what was Rodman? Rodman was what, second round?
He might have 04 Pistons.
I don't think Rodman was drafted.
I think you might be right, Chuck.
Rodman came in like
was undrafted. I think so.
He came in at like 27.
Yeah, and Isaiah wasn't no number 1 pick overall.
I'm gonna also play the devil's advocate to what Freeze
said. And them other guys, I don't think so.
The New York Knicks had the number 1 pick for 15 years and then win a championship. So
Andre, hold on. Andre, you know, Kevin, you know who was the number 1 pick? You know who was the number 1 pick? Andrea Bargiani, who the Knicks traded for.
Yeah. So, like I said, for 15 years we had the number 1 overall pick on our roster.
I mean, Eddie Curry, right?
Yeah, and his 2-inch vertical. Yeah. Hey, let's switch up a little and let's go on to the next topic.
Let me just add to this. Two players that are number 1 picks that maybe Blake Griffin and Derrick Rose. Maybe we should consider getting back Derrick Rose so we have a chance to.
Steven, before we go to the next topic, can I just say one thing?
Someone said Michael Olowokandi.
Just one thing to Kevin, and also if RJ Barrett, if you're watching this, I love you. I wouldn't trade you. I know you're going to get the shot better. I know you're going to develop, and Tibbs is going to get you there to do all the playmaking. All I was saying was that Hero was impressive in the playoffs. His shooting is good. I'm not trying to compare anybody. I'm not trying to trade anybody. So everybody in the chat thinks that I hate on RJ. I do not. I think he's going to help us get to where we need to go, and that's all I have to say.
He just need to work on them free throws, man. I hope he work on them free throws.
Hero's a better shooter.
True.
From everywhere. Free throw, 3-point line.
But I think RJ's
what about on the other side of the ball, though?
I think RJ's going to be able to impact the game.
He might be a better shooter, but I mean, who's a better scorer?
They both average 13.
They have very similar numbers.
But Hero 13, I must go with Chuck. Hero 13 looked better than RJ's 13 because RJ 13, he'll miss a bunch of shots. And then you look at the stat line at the end of the game and you say, oh, he had 13 points. But Heroes, you can easily see where he got his 13. So
I think RJ will eventually, maybe it'll be this season, maybe later, he will be able to impact the game in more ways than Hero. So I do think RJ can be the overall better player. But right now, with Hero shooting, that's what stands out. But
just like last night, I didn't see. I was shocked when I saw the stat line that RJ led us in scoring because all those shots he took and the ones he missed early, I was like,
I agree.
He ended up with 15.
I agree.
I didn't think he had 15.
And thank you, Steven. Steven, thank you for letting me say that.
If I was a betting person, I would have thought it would have been Julius who would have led us in scoring last night. Because the way he was playing looked like, he would have been the guy that leads us in scoring.
Well, RJ and Julius and Obi shot 11 times. RJ
Exactly.
16.
True.
So let's go to the next topic. Obi. You know, I'll start off with my impression, and we'll go around and seeing it his second time around. I was even more impressed a day later. You know, I think opponents are going to have a lot of problems dealing with his post up due to his length and explosive leaping ability. He'll be drawing a lot of fouls. I thought he was deceptively quick. I know people are talking about high hips and stuff, but I thought he was definitely quick. You know, good hustle. Twice he jumped while going out of bounds to save the ball, created a turnover by pressuring passes, good vision to a cutting DSJ for an uncontested basket. One thing I noticed, though, is Blake Griffin still has game, man. He's, in fact, all-around game. He made some beautiful passes last night. Smooth step-back threes. And so Obi, you know, he's amongst a lot of elite NBA players that had defensive problems going guarding Blake. So it's a good lesson for the kid. Obi did make 3 bad cross-court passes, but again, he's a rookie adjusting to the speed and athleticism of the NBA. But like I said, I just love both Payne and Woody talking to him after he went to the bench after a foul on Blake. So you want to go, Ron?
I tell you, y'all know how I'm gonna start this off, man. That's my rook that's my rook from the brook. The late great Biggie Smalls. You know what I mean? Obi, man, you can't say enough about the kid, man. And I'm gonna tell you what I think I love the most is that the kid want to be good on both sides of the ball. A lot of times when you have somebody who excel on either one side, if they're one-sided in their game, normally that's where they tend to favor and that's where they stay at. But if they get in the right situation with the right coach, that coach can take the other side that they may not be that good at and make them good enough. And I think Obi got that mentality where he wants to be great. You can see it. I mean, talking with Julius giving him pointers. You know what I mean? The guy is coachable, and that's what I like. I don't like players that feel like they got it all figured out. Those ones I don't like. But the guy, like I always say, man, Chuck, everybody on this panel, just imagine, everybody in the chat, imagine you getting drafted by your hometown team that you rooted for all your life. Your mama and daddy, you know, bought you paraphernalia coming up, you know, and that's the team you rooted for, and you get drafted by them.
Mark Jackson.
That's all I gotta say.
Those tears were genuine. Before I go to you, Kevin, just everyone in the chat and our viewers, please hit that like button, subscribe, and a reminder, let's support this growing Freezy Nights Knicks at Night telecast and broadcasting. Kevin, you want to take it?
You know, I saw a lot from Obi. I think in the beginning granted it's his first game. He looked a little anxious. I think that was a 3 that he took that he arched really high and just hit nothing but backboard. I was like, that was a bad shot. Calm down. But I think as the game went on, he showed a lot. I think the fact that he got his own points and didn't have to be set up all the time was very impressive. So granted, he was going up against a much bigger guy, as we mentioned last night, and I can't think of his name. What's his name? Who was he going up against last night?
Blake.
No, not Blake.
Okafor? No.
Okafor. Yeah. And that's, other than that, you know, just probably getting a little stronger in his base, you know, when he goes up against bigger guys like that. Because it looked like he couldn't even box Okafor out on some of the plays.
Yeah, that's a wide load.
Yeah, it is. So I don't really blame
and he's lost a lot of that wide load, and he's still a wide load.
Yeah, so, I mean, I saw good things, and obviously he'll have a good season. It all depends on how Thibodeau, maneuvers around his rotations. But he'll definitely be in the running for Rookie of the Year if he keeps this up, the kind of drive that he has.
Agreed.
Okay. Be well.
Yeah. That was the first time, like I said last night, that I've ever seen him play. I didn't see any Dayton games, and the first thing that stood out to me is he's incredibly good shape. He's very strong, not much body fat. He's in the right frame of mind to play basketball. That's number one. And you can tell right away if a guy can play or if he can't play. You can usually tell right away. Okay, he can play on the offensive side of the ball. He can play. Defensively, I think there's some. Obviously, it's a work in progress. And again, I think Elfrid Payton had a great game yesterday, and I'm not trying to slight him. All I'm hoping is if Elfrid can sustain that, that's going to help Obi out so much because, man, and I'm not trying to look to the future. If you get this guy a real point guard, he's going to be so freaking fun to watch in the guard. That's my take.
Hey, Rob, how are you?
What's going on, fellas?
Oh,
Hey.
good.
Yeah,
What you think?
good.
What you think?
Oh, first of all, y'all forgot about the team to the north. Toronto didn't have no number one picks.
It's true.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good
y'all
point.
Got all of y'all moved all around.
Hey, Rob, if you don't say nothing else good tonight, hey, that was a good one. That was a real good one.
Y'all just kept on going all around. Like I'm looking at y'all saying, well, nobody said Toronto. Okay, well, yeah, Obi, yeah, he looks quick, and he got a nice little handle too.
Yeah,
He does.
Yeah, so I think that that's gonna come in use when he's playing against those bigger guys. When he bring them out about 10 feet and blow right by him, he can put the ball on the floor. So he done one move down on that when he went baseline and the guard was coming around from the steal and he pulled it back and then went. So he's showing a lot of potential, and I think that he's gonna be a great Knick for probably the next 10 years. And somebody has y'all done got off that already. All right, so that's about it. That's what I got for Obi.
Yeah, there was one play where he came down the right side and he threw a pass to the corner three. He just whipped it. Really nice.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Hey, Teddy, you have on something?
My bad. I just turned it off. My bad.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Kev stole a lot of my thunder there. My thing with him is
my bad, Chuck.
It's going to be the base, his base. I think it's going to affect him as far as rebounding and as far as what he could do on offense in the post. I think he's going to have to rely on his speed and his handle because he's going to be a face-up guy more than backing anybody down because of the base. So and that's something that's like hard to work on. Like it's hard to get a stronger base. So he might just be that player that finesse and try to leap over you instead of try to go through you. But other than that, I'm impressed by him.
Ralph?
Yeah, he played great, man. He played good. Remember, it's just one game. So I'm not trying to get.
Yeah, everything we're going to say tonight is prefaced by we realize it's only one game.
Right.
That's all we have to go by.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he played good. I like the chemistry between Obi and Kevin Knox. I feel like I like that Kevin Knox threw him a pass, and that situation, that's kind of cool. So I liked when he went to the post and he backed down Sadiq Bey, and that was kind of cool. It looks like he has a bright future. But it's still wait and see. He went up against a rookie at the end of the day. So I don't want to add on top of that because I feel like a lot of the stuff he did, it was against Sadiq Bey. So I'm like, let me see it against somebody who's more established, and I want to see you back him down, and I want to see you do what you're gonna do against that vet.
You know what though? I got to say it too, Stephen. To Ralph's point there, when you talked about him and Kevin Knox, it's really apparent that they were working together over the summer, as what was reported, that they worked together for a month. As you can see, they were real comfortable with each other out there on that floor. So I was like, okay, I see. Y'all was working together. That wasn't lip service.
Hey, Teddy, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks, Steve. Hey, salute to everybody that's in here. Last night may have been the top 3 best podcast moments in Knicks at Night history. Thanks for that.
I don't know if that's good or bad,
Hey, Steve. Oh my God. Hey, what I say, I was in tears, laying down.
Tears of joy or tears of
Is there something I missed?
All the above.
You gotta watch the show.
When I say Nick and Rob got one of the 2 top Knicks at Night moments that don't. Hey, only if you're a
ladies
fan.
and gentlemen, in other words, it's the toilet show.
Yes, the toilet show and the cigar show with Rob. Hey, Rob, thank you so much. I'm your biggest fan. You ever know it? I'm your biggest.
Wait, was this when Rob was going at Legion? Was that the moment?
What happened?
You talking about Rob when Rob went at Legion? That was funny.
Oh no! It happened later on in the show.
Okay.
But no.
Rob was enjoying his cigar last night.
He was feeling real good. He was feeling real good. But to go to the question, not to take everything off. Salute to the chat, by the way, because we got the best chat in the game.
You got that right. And the best mod, Simon Bodega, shout out.
Absolutely. Hey, oh my God, those are my guys. Seriously.
Yeah, man.
Oh
awesome.
my God. But to go off, we talking about Obi, right?
Yeah.
So the Obi and Kevin Knox, like Ron was saying, you could tell he's working out over the summer. These guys came in prepared, in shape, and they looked like, they was listening to their coaches the whole summer because them boys came running and ready to play, and most importantly, play defense. That's the thing that got me the most. Now, Obi's offense, we got us one. There's no excuses. We got us a superstar on our hands, and if we grow him right, I hate to say, Freezy was right. His jersey would be hanging in the rafters.
Yep.
Bar injury, we don't want no injury to happen, but if he doesn't get injured, he's the one. RJ and him can grow together. We got our defensive player and Frank. I ain't trying to change the subject, but we got some pieces here now that we can truly grow.
A foundation.
And see where it goes, honestly. And Obi's post moves really surprised me the most. That boy footwork in the post. He looked like a 5-year vet out there as a rookie. I see you, Chuck.
I smell the smoke already.
Really good out there. Even though he played, I got to say it though. Ralph was right. God of Moses and Elijah was right. He was playing against a rookie. I'm going to say it right now. He was playing against a rookie, but we cannot downgrade what he was doing in that post. And when it came to that jump shot, it didn't go in. It was fluid. He didn't hesitate. He shot it. Just this is my open shot. I'm gonna shoot it. And even though he missed, he didn't airball the shot like RJ. RJ is a little sketchy to me a little bit because what he showed me in them airballs, big pressure moments may get to him. Let's be honest. RJ shooting them airballs let me know that sometimes, you know what, the moment may be too bright and I'm too excited. I may alligator arm some of these shots. And that's what happened in them 3-point shots. And he needs to realize I'm a mid-range shooter and keep it at that. But Obi, let's get back to Obi. Obi's defense needs to improve. I don't want to say nothing. I don't want to say everything was good about Obi. Obi's defense in the paint was terrible. I'm sorry. I watched the game again.
Yeah, he can't hold a spot, man. He gets pushed all around.
That plus he needs a better basketball IQ for the players that he's going against too. Because he was doing some stuff that just won't make sense to me. And Obi's going to be great. He's our future superstar. We just need to develop him properly. And I think he needs more minutes because when he goes into that lane, the passes that he's making to the corner is way above and beyond than whatever Julius is doing right now. I'll just be honest.
Let's not make this about Julius.
It all goes back to Julius.
I know Chuck loves Julius, and the only reason I want to talk to Chuck because he's the facial expression king. So I just need to, I need to make sure that We put it out there, that Obi is a work in progress. Don't everybody get too hyped. He's going to have a lot of down games. But his potential his ceiling is far and beyond what I expected.
When the game slows down for him, watch out.
Absolutely.
I just have one more thing to say about Mr. Toppin, though. And ain't nobody touched on this. That guy is quick off his feet to get them rebounds.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking at his number from last night. You talking 20 minutes? The guy had 7 rebounds and 5 of them came on the defensive boards. And that's what's more impressive to me is because them 5 that mean you stopped the team 5 times from having potential second offensive, opportunities and stuff. So that was huge.
Ron, everybody's talking about his lateral, he's slow and all the high hips and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He is explosive vertically. And like you said, going up, and I really see a lot of poster jams this year. He gets that ball in the paint, watch out.
Yeah, somebody going to be kissing the baby goodnight.
Yeah. Did you see Quickly on the sideline?
I love Quickly.
Me too, man. I just like his vibe. And obviously I love an elite shooter like that. So
we may have our point guard on the roster and they ain't playing him yet.
Yeah.
For all we know.
So we're gonna switch it up and we're gonna go to Kevin's favorite guy, Kevin, and I'm gonna kick it off. But I think you're gonna like this. That I saw so many positives in his game, man. His energy, his aggressiveness, his passing. He made 2 brilliant no-look passes for dunks, and that's a new skill set that he's demonstrated. Obviously he missed an alley-oop shot, pass to Toppin, but his cutting is much better, much more assertive to the basket. He made a nice block, then he went coast to coast and was able to get a foul, although on another night that would have been a charge. But, so Ron, you want to go with it?
Kevin Knox. I tell you, he what I said earlier today when I was talking on my my video I did, when I was live. What I wanted to see from Kevin Knox, I think what happened to him in the first game was the perfect situation for him. Because I wanted to see, I said, okay, well, we know you can shoot the basketball. But when you have them nights like you had last year where the shot wasn't falling and you disappeared, I want to see what you're going to do when that happens. I think for that to happen in the first game is going to be a big benefit to him because to see that he bought in, he played defense the way he played, and I never thought I would be able to say Kevin Knox and defense in the same sentence. I was really impressed with Kevin, but he got to make them shots. You know what I mean? Hey, ain't no excuse. If your forte is shooting, you got to make them shots. And then you've been working out for 9 months. I expect you to make them shots. That's all I got to say about Mr. Knox, but I was pleasantly surprised last night.
Kevin, I know this is going to make you happy. It's your turn.
No. The funny thing is, and as Tom Thibodeau said, when Knox is open, and all 3 of his shots were wide open shots, so he took good shots. He didn't force anything. And that's another thing. He only took good shots. Yeah, he didn't make them, but eventually, like every shooter, there, shots will fall. It's as Ron alluded to, when your shots aren't falling, are you going to mentally check out the game? And we saw that he didn't do that. We saw that he locked in on the defensive side and was able to contribute offensively in other ways in scoring. Another thing that I noticed, and I don't know if that has that much to do with Knox, is with the second unit, the spacing was a whole lot better than the first unit had.
That's a great catch, man. I noticed the same thing. Very, very good catch.
So that's how I say it allowed Kevin Knox to have wide open shots. It allowed Obi Toppin to go 1-on-1 in the paint. It's just the spacing that, and it's weird because Frank and DSJ were on the court, and no one will confuse them with great shooters. So I don't know what that deal was. All I know is Kevin Knox looked good, and everyone came into the season saying Kevin Knox mentally just had to show them something differently. And mentally, you could see that this was a completely different Kevin Knox than last year. Say whatever you want about the stats or whatever. And mentally, this was a different Kevin Knox.
And you know what I noticed was a different Kevin Knox? There was a turnover that he had that was really on DSJ.
That when he just slipped out of his hands.
Yeah.
Well, DSJ didn't run to the spot. So he jogged there rather than run there, and so on the box score it's going to be Knox's turnover, but that turnover was definitely on DSJ. And the thing I was going to say is he was always you didn't see any emotion on the kid. He put his hands up, Knox, like looked at him like, come on. And I said, whoa, I like that. I've never seen him, say to another guy on the team, come on, man. Do what you're supposed to be doing. And I'm like, if he starts showing that, that's all we've been asking, is show that. We want somebody to, when there's a problem like that, we want them to show like, hey, I'm upset with that, not just smile and say, okay.
I'm really gonna be scratching my head tomorrow if Kevin Knox doesn't start, because Tibbs basically said, he's gonna have different lineups, starting tomorrow. And like I said, Burks did nothing. Yeah, like Alec Burks literally did nothing on the court. I don't know. I don't remember him scoring 7 points. I don't even remember that. And I watched the whole game. So
I disagree. I think he had a productive game. I think he made a good steal in the passing lane. He was very unselfish. He gave up an open shot for RJ to take another 3 and a long rebound. And like he's not flashy. He didn't, you don't notice him, but at the end of the game, his numbers are all positive.
Yeah, he was +5.
Exactly.
I don't know. I just, like I said, I don't think it just was one of those moments where I don't even remember you contributing anything. But I don't know if you want to count hockey assists like this, but
I think you probably just weren't paying no attention to him.
I wasn't.
That's probably what you were looking for your boy Kevin Knox.
I was. When they announced those starting lineups yesterday, I was like, "This is what we're doing. This is really what we're doing right here, Tom." Okay.
Baltimore.
But really, I think Kevin Knox should be able to. If he doesn't start, keep doing what he's doing, and his time will come.
Before we go to Be Well, Freeze, you got something to say?
Yeah, man. I don't even know why we talk about Kevin Knox, man.
Kevin Knox. I was saying 3.
Kevin Knox ain't really good.
Here we go.
Yeah. What are we even doing here, man? When you're 6'9", 215, got God-given athletic ability, you know what I'm saying? To me, Kevin Knox is the spoiled AAU kid. Parents got money, and he's a pretty good athlete, and he probably just put this because he's tall as hell. I don't know if he legit has the heart to be an NBA player.
Let me
got all the tools, man.
Hold on.
You're a good athlete. You know what I'm saying? Your pops paid to have you get you a shooting coach so you can work on your jumper. All these things. You're a first round draft pick in the most beautiful city in the world. You know what I'm saying? You halfway decent looking. You know what I'm saying? All the girls are at your whim. You know what I'm saying? I just think my man is just taking it all in. I think he's one of them dudes that feel like he made it. You know what I'm saying? He made it to the NBA. That was his dream. You know what I'm saying? Now he a rich dude. You know what I'm saying? Can buy any car he want. Can date any girl he want. You know what I'm saying? I just think my man has made it.
All right. Hey, we got to give Kevin.
Go ahead, Kevin. I know that's your heart.
Kevin,
I don't know if Reezy is just trolling me right now, because I kind of feel that's what he's doing on the low. I think he's trying to troll me. Because here's my thing.
For what though?
Because you can't sit here. If there's one thing you can talk about his lack of production or whatever, but you cannot sit here and question Kevin Knox's heart and desire when Kevin Knox is the hardest working player on the team. When Kevin Knox is continuously in the gym. And I see your reaction on that, Chuck. Regardless of the product,
but that's what Frank say about Frank McKenna. Frank McKenna is the hardest worker in the game.
Go back to David Fisdale. You could say something about Mike Miller and even Tom Thibodeau.
Kevin Knox.
No. What I'm saying is every coach that, even John Calipari, Kevin Knox is always in the gym. And if Kevin Knox did not care, then he would not put in that kind of work. He would just go on his God-given talent and ability. He would not work on his craft if he did not care. That's the one thing I hate when people say, oh, he doesn't have the heart. But Kevin Knox works just as hard as someone like R.J. Barrett. But y'all love R.J. Barrett because he looks like, oh, look at me. I'm always working out, doing all the other stuff. But Kevin Knox is doing the exact same thing.
Hey, Kev, let me ask you this, though. Kev, let me ask you this, because people think I'm trolling you. And so here's the thing. We don't have to troll each other because you're pretty sharp on most topics. You know what I'm saying? So we can talk about most topics. You know what I'm saying? But my point is if Kevin Knox was one of the hardest workers in training camp, how come Thibodeau said Obi Toppin blew away the conditioning test? How come RJ Barrett smashed the conditioning test? And then when it came to Kevin Knox, he said he can knock down
because you can run fast and jump high. That's what the conditioning test is.
No, so did Vernon Golston.
You don't just Vernon Golston was great on looking at the combine. That don't mean you can put it together on the court on the field.
Right, and a Kevin Knox. I think Kevin Knox, Vernon Golston, and Mike Mamula are all in the same boat. They smashed one workout, and their reputation is based on that. But secondly, the thing about conditioning, you don't just wake up and be a well-conditioned athlete. You have to work at it, and y'all know that. Anybody in here that has been on a treadmill listening to some Eminem, no cardio and conditioning is something that you don't just wake up with. You know what I'm saying? That's legit something that you have to work at. The fact that Obi Toppin came in and smashed the conditioning test is a testament to how hard that kid works. But the Knoxers, the Church of Kevin Knox, always make 1,000 excuses for Kevin Knox, just like the Church of Frank. All of Frankers say that Frank make 1,000 excuses for Frank and Knox. The thing is with Knox is Knox ain't ready. Lester, he had one assist to Obi Toppin, and all of a sudden we ordering Kevin Knox posters. Calm down.
Hold on.
Detroit,
hold on. Now, if I'm not
trash. And we're calling Kevin Knox Magic Johnson because he had one good pass to Obi Toppin. I mean, the Pistons are garbage. Can we please have some perspective? That's all I'm asking.
The perspective is we talked about conditioning. You just said conditioning. Now, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Tom Thibodeau specifically name Kevin Knox as one of the best conditioned players on the team?
Actually, yesterday, Tibbs said the best conditioned player on the team is Randle.
No, but when he said there's two veterans, he said the rookies came in a good clip, and the two veterans. And who did he say? He said Randle and Knox.
Yep.
So how is it that he's one of the best conditioned athletes, but you just said, oh, he's not in good condition? With a coach,
I didn't say he wasn't in good condition. You see, that's what the Knoxers make excuses for Knox for everything. I didn't say that. Those words didn't come out of my mouth. What I said was Obi Toppin smashed the conditioning test. RJ Barrett smashed the conditioning test. When mentioned, Kevin Knox's name didn't come up. Right? That's what I said. But the Knoxers will say everything that Kevin Knox does is the greatest thing that ever happens to the Knicks. And you know what? I spoke with a Kevin Knox fan the other day, and so the rumor on the street was Kevin Knox put his pants on one leg at a time, and the Knoxer said he invented that, putting on pants one leg at a time.
All right, be well.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I mean it's with Kevin Knox. The first thing that stood out to me is he's bigger this year, stronger. And I just think he needs to play his role well this year. And I think what Thibodeau said is correct. Take good shots. If he's taking good shots, he's going to make them. And the bottom line is we need shooting. So anytime he's got an open three, I want him to take it. He can't hesitate. last year I thought the problem with Kevin Knox more than most that upset me was just there were times where he just is just so lackadaisical and not getting back, not being aware of like the right play. And I feel like if Tom can get that out of him to be more aware, I'm not saying he's ever going to be a great defensive player. I'm not willing to say that, but if he can eliminate some of the mental errors in his game and be more focused, if Tom can get that out of him, I think he could be a really good player on our team. I'm not saying he's going to be amazing, but if he can play a role and get buckets with the second unit, I don't see him starting. Although I agree with Kevin, I would actually like to see Knox start tonight in tonight's game. I think he should be playing all. Tibbs said, right? Didn't he say he's going to do a different starting lineup every preseason game? I thought that's what he said. But
he's going to mix it up.
Yeah, mix it up.
He's going to mix it up. I mean, I'll leave this with Knox. This is all I'll say about Knox. If he can give us that boost that we need, that scoring punch off the bench, and he eliminates the mental errors in his game, there's no reason he can't be a productive NBA player. That's all I'll say.
Ralph?
Yeah, Kevin Knox. He looked good yesterday. That pass with Obi. I don't know who made that point. That was Teddy. That definitely worked out. You know, they definitely worked out together. That was a good point. Good take.
If it was a good point, I probably made it.
Yeah, Ron said it first.
Okay, so yeah. But I definitely I disagree with everybody in the panel about that Knox should be starting. I disagree with that part. You got to earn it, and when people start talking that entitlement conversation, I'm gonna hate on you. So I'm gonna just knock you down when you say that, because I'm not pro entitlement. I'm pro.
God of Moses, I just want to clarify. I don't think he should be started. I just meant just in the preseason they should just rotate, but I don't think he deserves to start.
Yeah, okay, cool. But everything earned. I'm tired of hearing that entitlement talk, and he gets a lot of the entitlement conversation. So he might be in the lead pack in terms of entitlement, and he needs to learn how to earn it. So that's the only thing I would say about Knox. I like to see him earn everything he has. Let's see. I want to keep it short. Next man up.
Chuck, it's yours.
Okay. Knox is bad, right? he showed energy.
Thank you.
But it didn't translate into nothing. He just looked like he was going faster than usual. So y'all mistake that for other things, but he was bad. He had 1 assist, 3 turnovers, and he butchered 4 people. 2 for 6 from the field. And
0 for 3 from 3.
0 for 3 from 3. I don't see. He shouldn't start ever, for one. Let's get that straight. Maybe in the G League, you can start him there. It won't hurt nobody.
Wow.
Maybe.
I'm sorry, I was holding that one and I couldn't hold it.
Maybe.
Tell us how you really feel, Chuck.
Maybe.
I was like, ain't nobody gonna say nothing.
He has.
I'm letting Chuck talk. I'm letting Chuck talk.
Yes, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. I'm always the quickest. Frank is a bust.
We ain't talking about Frank right now, but okay.
No.
He couldn't wait to get that in.
We're gonna get to Frank, so just keep it on.
Hold on.
We'll get to Frank soon.
Hold on. Frank is a bust, and Knox has 1 foot, 1 leg on the bus train with Frank. And with that, I'm done.
Rob?
Knox showed energy. Knox, he has size now. Knox is in a good place. And Ralph, you said that he should deserve not to start. He doesn't deserve to start. He started his rookie year. His second year, they just took it from him for no reason. So I don't see why he shouldn't get it back He just got robbed at gunpoint in his second season, so you can give it back to him. I'll leave it as that.
Hey, Teddy, my man, you want to give me one of them Stellas for a second?
Absolutely.
Take it, my friend.
Chuck's delusional. I will start off with that.
I second that.
I think Knox showed that he knows he needs to be more aggressive and more assertive as a playmaker in the offense. And this was the first game of them being gone for 9 months. Not 1, not 2, 9 months. And he showed that, you know what? He's stronger. When he gets the ball, he's going to take it to the cup. Yeah, he missed some shots, but he took good shots. There's not one shot that I could say Kevin Knox took that was a bad shot. So that alone showed a lot. He's a good team defender. Yeah, he may be. Look, let's just be honest. On a one-on-one, Knox ain't the best, but he will lead you to that center, and he will pick up any defender that passes him to get the behind the shot block. Don't get it twisted. Now, Knox also showed me that he's listening to his coach. Everything that he was doing was in his role. And that's what we're not talking about. He played his role to the best of his ability. Now, do I think he should start? I think he does. I think he should start next game. Just let's put him out there and see what he can do. Over who was starting at the 3?
He can't be any worse than what Alex Burks was doing.
Kevin, you took the words right out of my mouth. Thank you. Do you think he could be better than Burks?
No doubt.
What is Burks?
No.
Steven, what was Burks' numbers?
Yesterday, Burks' numbers were 7 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 3 for 7 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3, and 1 turnover. And he was +5.
Oh my God!
Y'all gotta miss Burks.
So in 36, he was
take him out. Y'all gotta miss Burks.
That's a second coming of Mitch Richmond right there.
And I want to say something else because I feel like we ain't giving Knox enough credit. Knox, you know what made that second unit so good? When Frank hit that open 3 to start it off. Now you gotta play him. That's why the floor was spread out so well. Nobody's talking about when Frank hit his first 3 to start the game off. Now you gotta defend him. Now we spread it out. Now Frank may be a busted shot.
Hey, wait a minute. Let me add. Hold on. So you said Frank Ntilikina hitting that 3 is what opened the rest of the game.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm asking. Frank Ntilikina hitting that 3 is what opened up things for the rest of the game.
Absolutely. Now you got to play him. He's hitting his shot. They're not playing under anything now. You got to stick him.
Got to respect
him on his next attempt.
After 1 shot.
All it takes is 1 shot.
So to the virtual chat, now you see why I say Frank Ntilikina is a 6'4" Tree Rollins. Because my co-host and my ace, my dog, just came on here, and when I mean that, I mean legit. Me and Teddy go back a ways because we used to co-host this thing at night back in the days. But my man just came on here and legit said Frank Ntilikina is the reason why the Knicks offense opened up, right? And that's why I troll y'all so hard.
We're watching the same game.
the Knoxers want to knock aside at every turn. They want to knock aside their opinion at every turn, and the Frankers legit want to come in and say all praises due to Frank for every small thing that Frank does. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I'll say this.
We legit have to keep things in perspective. We played the Detroit Pistons in preseason. And I keep saying that, but y'all for some reason, it's we don't effective. We played the worst team in the league.
Let me say this.
And
you on the road to
you want to knock the size. Go ahead and knock the size.
No. It's about the team. On a road to being a good team, don't you have to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat?
Absolutely.
That should be ingrained in any good team. Like, hey, this team is trash. There's no reason we should lose to this team. We can have our B game and should still be able to beat that.
Right.
That's the psyche of all good teams. And all good teams have to start from somewhere.
And if you don't beat that team, then you're not as good as you thought you was.
Exactly.
We played again tonight. We played them again tonight.
We played the worst team in the Pistons, and we beat them.
And we're playing them again.
But you're using conjecture. You're using conjecture right now. You're using basketball logic for NBA players, and then using a fan's perspective. Of course, an NBA team is supposed to go out and beat everybody. That's their goal when they step on the floor. But Knicks fans are separate. What I'm saying, like Teddy just legit said, Frank Ntilikina hitting the 3-pointer is the reason why the Knicks offense opened up and got momentum. It's Franka's saying that everything that Frank does is great. Like every time Frank does something, we have to lay something at the altar. You know what I'm saying? And then the Knoxers want to come in and Knoxicize about small stuff. Knoxers are like, yo, but Kevin Knox had his jersey on right. He deserves credit. No. You don't deserve credit for doing simple stuff. If you're on an NBA roster, and you do little things, you don't deserve credit because that's your job.
What happened?
What happened to Freezy?
I think the Lord.
He was going to say what he say and run anyway.
Somebody upset.
I just want to give credit. I actually want to give credit to the players for doing the little things right, because last season they wasn't doing that. So I think it's not fair if they do the little things right and they don't get the credit they deserve. So
you have to do the little things before you do the big things. And I hate to say it.
Well, you got to do,
because people think that I love, but no. Knox was so bad last year that he has to take the little steps first.
Yeah. Bad was an understatement. Atrocious.
Yeah. So when he does the little things good, it's like, oh, this is markedly improvement from what we saw last year. Because his rookie year was so-so. I mean, it was what it was. The efficiency wasn't there, but it was a so-so rookie year. It was something to build up of. But then mentally, something happened to Kevin Knox last year that took him to a place that's like.
And you know what that is? He started 57 games his rookie year, and then only 4 games last year, and that could play games with a kid.
Exactly.
And we don't know what kind of conversations that Fizdale had with Kevin Knox after his rookie season. He might have told him all kinds of stuff like, "Hey, we believe in you. We're gonna play you. You're gonna start next year." So we're not privy to none of those conversations. We just trying to figure out. But we know the man went from starting to not starting.
We talked 30 minutes about a guy that had 1 assist. Steve, take us out of here.
I am. Absolutely. I'm definitely going to do that. All I'm going to say
hold on. My thing about that is, there isn't any player that had a great game yesterday for the Knicks.
Randle had a great game.
Randle had an okay game.
Randle had a great game.
Tom Thibodeau had a great game.
Alfred Payton had a great game.
Yeah.
As much as I didn't want Alfred Payton, hey, that guy almost had a triple-double. Let me pull up his. I'm gonna tell you his stat.
No, we'll get to that in a little. We'll get to that.
I'll save it.
Yo, be well, man. Share the snacks, man. Hey, Knicks at Night family. We're approaching that 100 likes, so please hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that reminder, please. So let's go off of this and let's get to the golden child, RJ. So he's an absolute dominant player in the paint, and he's a mismatch nightmare on a smaller guard. For me, I thought his first step looked a lot quicker driving to the basket than from last year. And I also expect him to be one of the league leaders in fouls drawn this year. He had some great passes like the lob to Noel and a behind-back bounce pass to Randle for a foul line jumper. If he can up his foul total to 73% and improve his jumper and finish better. He missed several layups last night, but he's definitely going to be a 20-point scorer this season. He played good D, some deflections, hand in the face that caused missed jumpers, but his lack of rotation and communication with Randle led to that timeout with Tibbs. But again, I saw some good stuff. So, Ron, you want to take it?
R.J. Barrett. What I saw from him last night, I saw resilience. And what I mean by that, to start out 0 for 6, wasn't it?
That and then 2 for 10, absolutely.
Yeah, to start out like that, I mean, a lesser mentally tough player would have folded last night after starting like that, coming out. So I give him credit there. Even though he only took 2 free throws, he made 1. I wasn't impressed by how he missed the one he missed. The miss looked bad.
Brick City.
Yeah. Rebounding, he's always been a good rebounder. I'm looking at his numbers: 4 defensive rebounds, 1 offensive rebound. I like that being on that defensive board. 2 assists from a guy who's supposed to be a facilitator with 29 minutes on the floor. Yeah, that's not good. And 0 for 4 behind the 3-point line. He got to learn to shoot. I mean, hey, last year was last year. We gave him a pass. Sorry about that. We gave him a pass, because he was a rookie. But you ain't a rookie this year. You can't be doing the same thing you was doing last year. So he got to learn how to shoot that basketball, and he got to learn to shoot them free throws, because I done told y'all about how I feel with players who don't shoot free throws.
Mm. Yeah.
And that's all we got to say about RJ.
Yeah. Kev?
I said something on Ron's show earlier about RJ, because I said he came out super, super aggressive because he doesn't want to fall into the Knox syndrome. He doesn't want New York to have him as the golden child one year, then they bring in another golden child and forget about him. So he came out like, "Nah, y'all not about to do me like y'all did Kevin Knox. I'm about to jack up everything." So that's what I took from RJ last night. He was like, "Y'all not gonna treat me like y'all did Kevin last year." No. I see how y'all love some Obi now. I'm still here. I'm still gonna be the man. And that's the mindset I think RJ Barrett took last year, because he was putting up some shots last night that was like, okay, let's slow down, RJ. I know it's been 9 months, but let's slow down. The thing about RJ is he's not the best shooter. He'll never be a great shooter. He can be a good shooter, but shooting isn't the only way that you can get points. And I think that's what I was trying to allude to earlier. He'll be a good scorer in this league. He'll be a dynamic scorer in this league. Some of the best scorers ever have never been the greatest shooters. So once he develops and once there's a game plan to where maybe he and Obi, and it has to be another player. It can't just be Obi and RJ. Like, it has to be someone else also. Once they take that next step together, then the sky is the limit, because they have 2 people that can complement each other in different ways. They just need to find that other. And yes, I'm not gonna lie, I'm crossing my fingers that it's Kevin Knox, but RJ's gonna be fine. Yeah, I'm crossing my fingers that it's gonna be Kevin Knox. That Kevin Knox can be that third player, that trifecta.
How do we get back to Kevin? I thought we were on the golden child.
I'm not. What I'm saying is RJ needs that, because he needs someone to compliment him.
No doubt.
I agree.
If it's all on RJ, I'll be like this. If Obi is the best player, RJ is a perfect number 2. But I don't think RJ at his best can be the number 1.
Okay, I agree.
I think Obi at his best can be a number 1, and RJ would be a great number 2. So that's what I think needs to happen, and I want to see, and I hope Tibbs does this. I want to see RJ and Obi together. So
be well.
Yeah. So my thing with RJ is, again, I think a really good point guard would also. A really good point guard would help anybody on the floor. So I'm not breaking news here, but I think he needs to work on getting to the paint, getting to the free throw line floaters, all the little bunnies, all those types of shots that he's going to be getting at range, even posting up. I mean, I want him to work on all of it, but I also want him to understand that he's an explosive athlete, so he's got to use his defense to get his offense going on certain nights and get out in transition. And so, yeah, I mean, we all understand his shooting is a work in progress. We want it to get better. But the kid cares. The one thing I know about RJ that I don't know about other kids is he cares more than most people. He's going to put in the work. And that's why he gets sometimes a little too excited. He's got to calm down. He's like a Lamar Jackson sometimes in these playoff games that drives me nuts as a Ravens fan. He gets just so damn amped. But I do think RJ cares. I think he's going to be fine. We just have to be patient with him. He's just another guy that is just going to – it's going to take a lot of repetition. But I'm not saying he's going to be like Jaylen Brown, but I do think State mentioned Jaylen Brown last night. And Jaylen Brown in year 2 and year 3, his jumper got better and was a really good defender. I think that's my goal for RJ. If he can be a slasher, a guy like Jaylen Brown. But we'll see.
Ralph?
Just want to say that I agree with the resilience. Who was that said that he had a lot of resilience? He went 0 for 6.
Hey, I don't like this. Ron's the only one that makes the great points.
Yeah. So yeah, he had great resilience. He went 0 for 6 in the first half, and then he started second half. He started getting his groove going. Now, that being so, his field goal percentage, I'm fine with it. I trust him, even though if he has a rough start, I still trust him taking shots. I do have an issue about his free throw percentage. Just like Ron, again, I'm big on those free throws. RJ Barrett is very good at getting to the free throw line. He got to capitalize on those. So, I mean, it's only 1 for 2. I just hope that he gets better and better and better in that area. I hope that doesn't get ignored this season. That's all I ask. His defenses, I trust him. And I think hopefully he'll develop to be a more of a playmaker. We're seeing Kevin Knox become a playmaker. I would like to see RJ playmake a little more. And I think that's about it so far. I'm going to keep it short.
Chuck, take it.
Okay. What I saw from RJ last night, I think he was in a hurry to show his new jump shot. Yeah. So he showed it, and it was terrible. So he resorted back to what he do best. Ron, your chips are mad loud. Yeah.
We don't want to hear that.
Baltimore, your chips are mad loud.
My bad.
I was trying to figure out what that was.
Yes, chips. So yeah, he resorted to what he do best, which is overpower smaller guys. So my thing is he could be neutralized pretty easily by putting somebody as strong on him because he plays bully ball. He rely on his strength. All his shots are contested. That's why his percentage at the rim is not good, because everything is contested because he don't beat his man. So because he's slow like Frank, so he relies on strength. And, somebody says something crazy today that Ron would say, and they said the Knicks have 2 franchise players.
You think I would say that? You don't know me as well as you think you do, partner.
All right, Rob. My fault, Rob.
Not me.
You be calling me Rob. You be calling me Rob.
My fault. RJ.
Me Rob. You call Ron.
They said RJ and Obi are 2 franchise players already, and it reminded me of Rob. So I'm gonna pass it to you, Rob, since it reminded me.
Hey, 1 second. Just RJ shot above league average from 0 to 3 feet at 57%.
Okay.
You said above league average. You said
yes.
What was the range?
0 to 3 feet.
You said at the rim.
At the rim.
That's where he stays at. That's where he live at. That's why.
Oops.
He live at the rim now.
No, it's not oops.
Take
He
it,
live
Rob.
at the rim.
You said he don't make it at the rim. First of all, RJ's, I guess his first 15, 16 minutes of the game was straight trash. He got better as he went along. To me, RJ is a hybrid Jalen Rose. That's what his game is like.
That's a good one.
He's a hybrid Jalen Rose, a little bit better. I don't think he's gonna ever have a shot.
No, he ain't better than no Jalen Rose. No.
Huh?
Go ahead, Rob. Yeah, you just brought that one up out of me just now. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Beg to differ.
yeah, I don't think that he's gonna ever have he's gonna ever be a shooter. And right now, I'm kind of concerned about him, really, because like I said before, Landry Fields. I'm kind of concerned with RJ right now. So he got to really show better because he was the darling of New York last year. Okay, he had a high ankle sprain, all of that. What he say? But he has to get better from the field, and he has to get better at the line. And until I see those improvements, as far as like him getting to the rim, yeah, he can bully down there, he can score around there. And but in order for him to be a better scorer out there, he has to shoot a better mid-range shot, more like DeMarcus Rosen, something like that, and stay away from the three for right now.
Yeah,
and play tough D. But right now, he wasn't that impressive to me yesterday. But he's just gonna have to move on and try to get better.
Rob, somebody ask you, what is that wallpaper behind you?
Hey man, I'm in the kitchen, man. It's the kitchen. What the refrigerator too?
He's better than the toilet.
Right.
Boy.
Teddy, you take it, my friend.
I'm glad I'm going last to bring a little logic, to some of these guys that are before me as far as Chuck. Mainly Chuck. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna talk about Chuck right now because all these guys is trash on the team. Everybody's trash to Chuck. I don't understand it, but 9 months off, first preseason game. Let's highlight preseason again. Preseason game. He was. Hey, look, Kevin said it best. It was it Kevin that said he was trying to show off his jump shot and was just too excited.
Chuck said that.
Who said that?
Me.
Chuck said that.
Oh, I think I said
Chuck, you the man. You were exactly right because I think he was too excited to show out that new jump shot. I think that getting snubbed, with the all rookie team really got to his head, so he wanted to come out strong. And I think he was doing too much. Now, I think if he just, because of mid-range and taking it to the hole type of guy, he's unstoppable. I think he should be the mid-range king because he'd be the man. Nobody's stopping his mid-range jumper and him taking it to the cup. And who said that his first step would look quicker?
I did.
Steve, you're exactly right. His first step looked great. I said, oh, man, when he had the first step, I think he should be playing shooting guard, not small forward. Because when he played small forward, he didn't look his best.
Yeah, he played 75% last year at the number at 2.
Yeah, he needs to stick at number 2 and really just stay in the mid-range. I think if he's wide open for the 3, take it, but don't dribble into a 3. That's my thing. Ain't no dribbling to 3s, no pick and rolls into the 3s. Stay in the mid-range, and he'll be the mid-range king taking it to the cup. And then he'll bully you when he take it to the cup. That's what I like about RJ. When he takes to the cup, he's bullying every man that defends him. And he's going to get his fouls. RJ is going to get the most foul shots. And unfortunately, he needs to work on his free throw shooting. Because I thought he was going to come in shooting the free throws a lot better. And he disappointed me at that free throw line. I'm not going to lie. I said, oh, same old RJ. But I'm going to say this. First preseason game. And they didn't have a lot to practice on. I'm going to say a lot of this is a lot of these players are sore. I'm going to blame it on them being sore from jumping straight into practice, working hard under Tibbs because Tibbs is overworking them in practice. and head into that first preseason game. Maybe the arm's a little shot a little bit. You know, that's why he airballed it. You know, he working hard, you know. So I'm going to blame it on that. Even though the chat going to probably kill me, I'm going to just kind of work. I'm rooting for my guy right now. That's what it is. I'm rooting for my guy right now. RJ was tired on the first 2 air balls that he threw up from 3.
Yeah.
Free throws, he has to work on those. Steve, I'm going to pass it to you next, but the free throws he has to work on because there's no excuse at the free throw line. Free throw is the easiest shot. I mean, I could make a free throw in my sleep. That's just literally.
And like you're saying, these are bricks, man. These are not,
you know what free throws are?
Man.
You know what free throws are like?
Free
throws are like food stamps. Food stamps always good at the cash register.
Steve, 33% in the paint.
That ain't good.
That ain't good.
That ain't good.
That ain't good.
I mean, he got to work. I mean, ain't no excuse. Ain't no excuse this year. All them guys, man. No excuse. They can't say we got a sorry coach this year. Can't use that excuse. Together. You can't the whole staff. They got a great staff now. So if you don't develop with this team, then it's gonna really be on you.
I trust him and Obi to get more together than I trust. I mean, a little bit of Mitch, but you know,
him and Julius didn't look bad together. Honestly, they had a couple pick and rolls that I really liked them doing. Where if Julius hits that, Julius is automatic at the free throw shot. He needs to that needs to be his area. Like he's automatic, it seems, at that little free throw jumper.
I think this is going to be Julius' year too. Alfred Payton might be behind him too.
All right, that's a perfect segue into Randle. And I just thought, you know, we know already he's a beast in the paint. He drew 163 fouls last year and 42 N1s. And I think he's going to do the same because he's always done that in his career. He needs, obviously, to be a better finisher. He missed several layups. But he made a couple nice steals, man. He played defense. He made nice steals on cutters and transition, stopping a fast break. He was harassing Jeremy Grant, created a turnover, and he made some really nice passes, unselfish ones on a break to Bullock and later to Burks for 3-pointers. And you could see he was telling Obi on a play to play defensively. You know, there was an ugly turnover with about a minute to play. Where he was doing his impersonation of the butt fumble, as Chuck said, but he made up for it with a jumper and a 1 and then a 3-pointer to close it out. Close out that game. So it wasn't pretty, but he made up for it. So we're gonna go in reverse order. Teddy, you want to take it again?
Absolutely. Julius Randle. I think he's gonna have a look. The great thing about this first preseason game is Randle made classic mistakes. And film tape is going to exploit those mistakes he made where Tibbs is going to call him out on. I think a lot of the mistakes that he keeps making is going to get slowed down because of Tibbs' professionalism and telling him you can't make them plays if we're going to win games. So I think as the leader of the team, and yes, Randle is the leader of our team, he needs to pass the ball more. And when he's making the passes, there's a pass that he was doing on fast breaks where it was literally a 3-on 2. And he passed that ball to Bullock and Bullock hit that open 3.
Yep.
I was like, Randle, okay, that's a great observation of, okay, I got my man's open for the 3. Or I pass it down low. He passed to the open man that I felt was the smartest play.
Yep.
He made a very smart play. And if we keep doing that, Randle will be explosive. And let's not talk about at the end of the game where Randle had that 3-point play where he had that he had that free throw shot where he got fouled at and really stapled the game at the end. So I think Randle can be a great piece to our team and really help Obi throughout this year because we can't knock Randle for the players that he played with leading to the Knicks as well. He played with some all-pro players and can really teach Obi the game through the all-pro players that he played with. As far as then he played with Kobe at the end of his years in the Lakers, and then he played with AD. Let's not forget this. So I think a lot of that professionalism and how to be a great all-star and the work regimen that he's seen that he brings to the Knicks as well, being we can knock Randle all we want. Randle is always in shape.
Mm-hmm.
Always in shape. So that's 75% of the battle right there. And performing. I mean, I think long as he stays in his lane, you're not a point guard. Pass the ball. I think Randle should have a 3 dribble limit. You dribble the ball more than 3 times, you're out the game. I think that should be his limit. I think when he does too much, he always makes a turnover. But I think he should be used as a Joakim Noah who can make a free throw. He should be literally a mixture of Joakim and Boozer, because Boozer can make that free throw shot as well. Pass the ball up top. And I feel like he sets the most solid screens as well. Be that guy. Him or RJ got a great connection as far as the pick and roll goes, and I think they can go far with it if Randle passes the ball. Randle has to pass that rock. That whole fake give it to the roller guy, he needs to stop doing that. Every time he does that, somebody steals the ball from him.
Exactly. And also work on their spacing a better.
Absolutely. I don't like Elfrid and him playing together, honestly. I really don't like it. They too buddy.
Rob, you want to take it?
Yep. Randle played a good game yesterday, and that's the point I was trying to give Guillermo yesterday about the turnovers with that over dribbling. That when he get on film, that Thibodeau can correct that and let him know. But it seems like Guillermo didn't get it yesterday. That was the point. That now that your coach see you do it, he doesn't have to rely on what another coach said. He can show you himself. This is what you can't be doing. But other than that, I don't think really Randle held the ball too much like he usually do. He did have 6 assists. He had 11 points, 8 boards?
Exactly.
Yeah.
2 steals.
2 steals, yeah. And he played solid defense. So Randle yesterday to me was kind of impressive of the other things that he was doing. You know?
Yeah, plus 4.
Yeah, it seems as though that to me that he kind of bought in a little bit. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play tonight too. He's one of the ones that I got my eye on. Him and Freezy's boy Landry Fields. You know, so I'll pass it to Chuck. Go ahead, Chuck.
Well, Randle's the best player on the team. There's not much else to say about him. He gonna do him. He's gonna lead the team in scoring. RJ is not gonna average 20. Steve, I'm sorry.
What do you think he will be averaging?
RJ, I'll max him at 16.
Okay.
I'll max him at 16.
That's 2 points more than last year, so it's still better than his rookie season.
Yeah, and Randle's gonna start. He's gonna start the whole season as long as he's here. He will not be coming off the bench. You don't put your best player on the bench.
Yeah, he don't deserve to be on the bench the way he played yesterday, or how he plays.
Yeah. So I don't have. And Ted, you say I don't like anybody.
No, you love Randle.
No, my thing is all of y'all, not all, but most of y'all overhype most of the players. So when it comes to me, I bring you back down to where you should be. So you take that as me not liking them. No, I'm pointing out their flaws because you overhype what you call their positives. So what I do is I point out their flaws. But Moses, on you.
Oh, it's on me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Man, very proud of Julius Randle. It's not easy because a lot of people, the whole last season, a lot of people can't get past it. I'm glad that today they're talking more positive about him. I'm happy about his 6 assists for the game. A lot, I'm going to say some controversial stuff. It's not going to be easy, but I feel like it needs to be said. I think he needs to be a point forward. I think that's the right call. He needs to continue to look for the teammates, pass the ball,
especially in the pinch post and stuff.
Yeah, all the stuff. I'm with it, man, and I'm okay. Look, I'm going to say something. Again, I'm going to be more controversial. I'm okay with his flaws now. I'm okay with it. He needs to continue to be a playmaking forward. I mean, I believe that Draymond Green sort of changed the game in terms of forwards, where you have a playmaking forward, right? I mean, sometimes you have a stretch four, and Draymond Green is a playmaking four. I think Julius Randle could be a mixture of a little bit of that, right? So I think Julius Randle does can be a playmaker. I mean, I would like to see if he can be more of a playmaker. And at the end of the day, Knicks fans want to see RJ win the game for the Knicks. Knicks fans want to see Obi win the game. Kevin Knox win the game. And they don't really, most fans are not pro Julius Randle hitting a clutch shot. So I think it's okay. So if that's the reality, I think that's the more reason I would like to see him throw more passes. And I know he could get his 20 and 10 whenever he wants. He wasn't even trying in my eyes to get those rebounds, and he finished with like 8 rebounds. And I'm like, try to get a triple double. Keep an eye on your assist, and try to look for extra passes.
Hey,
also.
is that me or is he popping like that? Is that Raphael popping like that? Is that me?
I didn't hear anything. Did you guys hear anything?
I heard a little bit.
I heard it with Freezy.
Okay, hold on. I'll fix it.
Go ahead, Rob.
So I would like for him to throw those extra passes. So not only do I want to see Julius Randle throw get assists, but I also like to see him be one that can throw the extra pass. And I want to keep it like that. Thank you.
Yeah. Before Be Well, thanks so much. We broke through that 100 a milestone for likes. Keep hitting those likes. We're at 745 on subscribers. Let's get that up. And a reminder, thanks so much. Be Well, it's yours.
Thanks. First of all, I apologize for eating on the air. That was unprofessional, but
bullshit.
I had a small dinner. But also God of Moses, by the way, if Julius Randle's an all-star this year, hold me to it. I will buy you a meal. We'll make it happen, okay? Because I want him to be an all-star.
A jersey, you said.
And a jersey. A jersey of your choice. It doesn't even have to be Julius Randle. It can be whoever you want on the Knicks. It has to be a Knicks player, though. So this is my take on Julius Randle. He's the best player on the team, so I agree with Chuck. He is the best player on the team. Last year, he was a very low IQ player. If he's going to do 6 assists and 2 turnovers a night consistently, then we have something. I agree with you. I think we need his playmaking. We have to get – because he's going to draw double teams. He has to make the right play. So the hope is that Tibbs can get him to make the right play. Because when there's 2 people on you, that means somebody's open. This is not hard. I actually agree with Rob as well. I was impressed with Julius maybe more than anyone because I thought he was good on defense. I thought he was good on the boards. I thought he played an all-around game. So, yeah, I mean, my expectations for Julius are get 20 and 10 a night, make the right play, and lead. He has to do those things. That's what we signed him to do. Last year, I think why everyone was frustrated was because he just wasn't being a smart player. He thought he was Carmelo, and he wasn't making the extra passes. He's not Carmelo.
Exactly.
He's playing a bigger role right now. But but with that power comes great responsibility. You can't just do whatever you want out there. You have to play your role. So I'm hoping for big things. I want to increase his value. I don't know yet. As far as trading, I'm not worried about that. We'll get to that down the line. But he needs to increase his value. He needs to lead. And we'll see where things take us before the deadline. That's all I got.
Kev?
Uh-oh. Make sure my mic is.
Uh-oh. Julius stretching out. Here we go.
I'm not gonna kill Julius. I see. When I start talking, God and Moses want to get off the camera. Okay, that's what's going on. Okay, That's what's happening.
No, I listen. I'm right here. I was gonna get up to get some food, but okay, I'll listen to this. Go ahead.
Julius Randle needs to get the ball out of his hands. He does not need to be bringing the ball up the court. The pace of the first unit was snail slow.
Mm-hmm.
Snail slow. Mm-hmm. Because Julius Randle is insistent. If he wants to have the ball in his hands in half court sets, fine. But you can't sit here and have the coach say, we want to get it up and down the court, and you have your power forward walking the ball up the court every single play. You have no. The Knicks on a whole took 83 shots. But here's the weird thing about it. If you look at it, if you look at the first unit, the second unit was pretty much had in less time than what the first unit was playing. I'm trying to add right quick in my head. 12, 18.
You taking your shoes off again?
But the RJ took a lot of shots, but there was the pace of the second unit was so much faster than the first unit. They were getting up and down the court because they actually had their point guard bringing the ball up and pushing the ball. I have no problems with Randle, other than when you get the rebound, pass it to the point guard so he can push the ball, so he can push the tempo and the flow of the game. That's my only qualm with Julius, is he does not need to be bringing the ball up the court. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say.
How did he play yesterday?
Other than that, like I said, to me, that is because when you slow down the pace of the game, that affects the entire game. So I can't sit here and say he had a great game when you're literally affecting the pace of it, the flow. Like I said, there's literally everyone else is out of the screen, are already down the court, and he hasn't even crossed half court yet. We're waiting on him because he's the one who has the ball.
I got to go back and look at that. I didn't see that. I didn't see him that far behind.
Yes. And if you look at the first when the first unit was in the first quarter. Now obviously something happened. I guess Tom Thibodeau was like, "Yo, get the ball up." But that first quarter, Peyton was clapping for the ball for him to pass the ball to him, and Randle was like, "Nah, I got this." I'm like, "What are you doing? You ain't Magic Johnson. Pass the ball to the point guard." That's my only issue with Julius, is don't affect the pace of the play, because you walking the ball up the court every single possession. That's it. And I'm done.
Ron?
Last night I had a different take on Julius. But like I said, once I actually looked at the tape again with some honest eyes and not in the moment of trying to watch a basketball game, it's easy to get your emotions caught up. But looking at it, analyzing that game last night, his game last night, he played real good for us. Real good. And one thing I did notice, I didn't see him slowing the ball down like that last night. That ball was getting out of his hand a lot faster. He wasn't just pounding the air out the basketball. I might have saw it maybe once or twice, but for the most part, he was making good decisions, and it showed in his stat line. 6 assists from that power forward position. That means you trust in your players, and that's what I said when I did a video earlier before the season started. I said if he can trust his players passing that ball, I'm not going to have too much of a problem with him, and just cut down on them turnovers. And 29 minutes he had 2 turnovers. So that one, too bad for as much as the ball goes through him. We know the offense run through Julius when he's on the court. So if you touch the ball a lot, it's just like a quarterback, and somebody made this point last night, that throws the ball all the time. You're going to have more opportunities for turnovers. That's just a part of the game. But Julius Randle last night, man, and one thing that I was most happy about him, the guy played defense, except for that one time where come over here. And other than that, I ain't had no problems with Julius, man, after I really looked at that tape. Because I think really in my mind, and a lot of Knicks' mind, Ralph, you're right. we do think back to last year. You know, just like the same thing we said about when people say why Tibbs gonna hold something on Mitch from something that happened in the past. You remember, you can't wash stuff out of your mind once you see it, but you got to give the guy credit when you know when it's due, and he played good last night.
Yeah, like if he was playing the poor defense like he did last year, and yesterday, like if he did that yesterday, fair game. That's a fair argument. But like, you know, I don't know. I don't want to hold up the time.
Yeah, got a question from Tayshawn in the chat. Hope all is well. He's asking us about our thoughts about Kyrie not talking to the press. I don't know. You guys want to talk about that? I like all things Knicks, and I can't stand Kyrie. But anybody have any thoughts on that?
I just need him to keep doing that. Just keep doing that. I like that decision. Keep that mess over there. I want him to keep cutting up.
Hey, look, they said that's going to cost them throughout the season. They added it up like $1.3 million if he keep that up.
That's foolishness.
Yeah, well, he just has to ask Uncle Drew for that money.
Yeah, he can go. He can go over like the guy out there in Seattle. I'm only here for pro because they told
you talking about Marshawn Lynch?
Yeah, he better start that.
So, okay, we're going to go to another. We'll switch up, and we're going to go to another favorite topic, Elfrid Payton. You know, I just think the hate has to be reeled in on this guy. I mentioned this a few nights ago. He was second in the league to Zion, getting to the rim. RJ was third. You know, that dunk, that drive and dunk showed that, you know, that aggressiveness that Tibbs is preaching. He made a few textbook bounce passes. That's a real loss art. He made some real pretty passes like that. And I definitely think he's going to be bringing Lob City to Broadway with Obi, Mitch, and Noel. Until we draft our next point guard next year, God willing, or through a draft, he's our point guard. And I predict that he's going to be one of the amongst the league leaders in double-doubles and triple-doubles this year. You know, Payton has 17 career triple-doubles, and he's only one of 5 players in NBA history to have 5 triple-double games in a row. The others in the last 35 years are Westbrook, Michael, Chamberlain, and Oscar Robertson. So if Tibbs and Johnny Bryant can harness that talent and he can stay injury free, he's definitely provide a capable point guard until we get the point guard. So please stop. The Payton is garbage talk. Opinion's one thing and stats are another. And I love seeing him fighting through those screens. And Frank shouldn't be getting credit for shutting down Killian. It was Payton last night. He was a pest. He was, forced several travel calls. So you want to take it, Ron?
Yeah, I'll start it off. When I looked at his numbers last night. I mean, the guy played a great game, and just looking at it, if Elfrid Payton plays the way he played last night, we're gonna win a lot more games than we're gonna lose, because your point guard is your quarterback on the court, and if you got a point guard that's competent, you're gonna win games. And last night, what that guy did, man, it was a beauty. I mean, he played a great game. He played within himself. Only thing I like to see him do, he may never be able to do this. A 3-point shot. He took 3 3-point shots last night, didn't make one of them, but he was 5 of 11 from the field. But he played defense. We always knew he could play defense. And behind, I would say, Noel, he was our second best player on the floor last night.
Mm-hmm. Kev, you want to take it?
I liken Elfrid Payton to Ben Simmons, as in, if you at least shoot the ball, you don't have to make it. Just shoot to keep the defense honest.
Honest, yeah.
That's it. Like, Ben Simmons doesn't even shoot the ball. But if Elfrid Payton would at least just take the shots, defense at least has to be at least honest and not back off of him and crowd the lane, which leaves RJ open for more penetration. So I'll give him credit for that. He's not afraid to shoot it. If it goes in, it goes in, I guess. That's just, hey, that's great. But that's all. I mean, he played a good game. He played a Elfrid Payton type of game. I'm glad he didn't just play buddy ball with Randle. I'm glad I didn't see a lot of that. So yeah, if he keeps that kind of level of play up, then okay.
Be well.
Hey, let me jump in here right quick, man, because I heard some stuff, man, and I want to get in and troll, just to be the random troll tonight. Did we just say? Did we just hear that Elfrid Payton was kind of like Ben Simmons? I just wanted to make sure I heard that right.
No.
I just okay. I'm glad you said it. So here's
I think he was just saying you got to keep him honest, even.
No, that's what I was saying.
Right. So in the other
I
thing,
didn't say that.
So I didn't get a chance to say my take about RJ Barrett. Right. So the thing about RJ Barrett, in my opinion, is that the Knicks are so fortunate to have a player like RJ Barrett. And the reason why I say that, and without it sounding like cap, is for years people took checks from James Dolan and didn't even care. They like, he rich, just cut the check. I don't care. You know, my knee is sore. You know, I ain't playing tonight. Cut the check. RJ Barrett legit is the one player that came here and that has the drive to want to win more than we all want to breathe breath, right? Yep. Like RJ Barrett is legit starving to win at everything. You know what I mean? And sometimes we get things twisted out of perspective. Like I know we hadn't seen NBA basketball in 9 months. And so the fact that the first game we saw, we use it as a measuring stick to project players' careers. I don't think we should do that. But in fairness to Knicks fans, what else do we have to go by? You know what I mean? Like we legit saw Kevin Knox come out with energy last night and automatically projected him as a starter because he did something that he's supposed to do. Right? No shade on Knox. I'm just using him as an example as opposed to say Dennis Smith Jr. I think RJ Barrett is our cornerstone. And the reason why I say that is because you can measure athletic ability with all types of tests and stuff. And you can use stats like Stephen Fox used those weird stats for Elfrid Payton to make him seem good when Elfrid Payton is garbage.
Hey, there he goes.
Yeah, Elfrid Payton is garbage. He put up trash stats in a preseason game against the worst team in the league, and Stephen Fox compared him to Wilt Chamberlain.
I didn't compare him to Wilt Chamberlain. I said he achieved only a few players. Hey, man, you think hitting a triple-double 5 games in a row, is garbage? Anyone who's garbage can hit something like that, man?
Right. I understand that you're
giving RJ this for effort.
Wait, listen. Let me. I was patient while y'all was rocking. I just want to say my little piece. Hey, Rob, I was patient, right? I was just popping in and out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
right?
You've been running.
You know what I'm saying? I was just letting everybody eat. So, but the thing is with RJ has that thing that you can't quantify with X's and O's. Like all the great ones have an it factor, and RJ has it. You can't deny it. You know, it's in the biggest game we played last year against the Houston Rockets, RJ came through big in the clutch. And you saw others in the same moment fold. You saw Mo Harkless give up a running dunk to Russell Westbrook, and Westbrook had a 20-foot running start, and Mo Harkless still gave up the dunk. You know what I'm saying? You saw Julius Randle's shot wasn't going in that game, even though I think he grabbed like 16 boards. His shot wasn't going. He shrunk away from the moment, and I like Julius Randle. But in that game, RJ Barrett stepped up with all the one high leverage game we played all year. RJ Barrett is the one that stepped up. You know what I'm saying? And so we say all these things like RJ Barrett might be 16 points a game. RJ Barrett is this, RJ Barrett is that. What we fail to realize is once RJ Barrett got healthy last year, coming back from a high ankle sprain, and he addressed this the first opportunity he got to talk to the media, he averaged 18 points a game. He shot 75% from the free throw line. He shot 35% from 3, 45% from the field. 45, 35, 75 for RJ Barrett will make him an 18-point scorer if the volume is about the same. You know what I'm saying? So we say that RJ is not capable of taking steps, but we ignore the obvious stuff for the stuff that's glitzy. You know what I'm saying? If RJ Barrett had done a reverse 360, then we'd probably been like, oh, RJ Barrett's going to be a star. But the fact that RJ Barrett grounded out games and won that game against the Rockets is something that we all saw with our own eyes, and the only high leverage game of the year. And we put that aside because he shot bad at the beginning of the season. But nobody saw his growth from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. Like, you just look at the stat line and it says 40%. That's not a true indicator of what his season was like. His season started low and he climbed all year. RJ Barrett is a grinder. And I know the panel and virtual chat, all of y'all were born with silver spoons in your mouth. I know all of y'all were born into money. Y'all slept on money bags as kids. But for a lot of us, we had to come from the bottom and grind our way to a certain place. And those of us that grind appreciate the fact that RJ Barrett is a grinder. You know what I'm saying? He legit took a rookie season that started in the toilet and made it respectable. And all we hear is, well, RJ Barrett started the game out 0 for 6. RJ Barrett is not the only NBA player that missed 6 shots in a row. Yeah, come on. Y'all being ridiculous. Y'all like, he missed 6 straight shots. I mean, come on, man. Y'all acting like nobody in the history of basketball ever missed 6 shots in a row.
I don't think it was because he missed 6 shots. I think it was because he was air balls, man. It wasn't even close.
Right, Steve.
In the book, it goes as a miss, though, Steven.
No,
but what about so if you use that logic for air balls, do you count how pretty the other shots were when they went in?
No, I hear you.
No, you don't. The fact is that they went in, and so you should look at the misses as the fact as they were just misses. You know what I'm saying? How bad a shot when he missed is not a true indicator of how good the shots looked when they went in. We can't just use one end of the spectrum. We have to have context when we apply all things. It's the reason why, those of us that look at the Knicks' future say it's a bright future. Like, the Knicks legit have a bright future ahead of them. Like RJ Barrett is legit going to be a high-level starter for us. Obi Toppin is going to be a high-level starter for us. And those and others that are optimistic, the ifers, like every time they say a certain player's name, they say if, right? Those they have a belief system. They believe that a player will get better. Like Rob the Knicks says about Frank Ntilikina, if, right? Those are, he believes in that cat and believes that the cat will get better. When Kevin says something about if about Knox, they believe that the player will get better. But you can't say that about 1 or 2 players with the same coaching staff, and then when it comes to RJ Barrett, you'll say, well, RJ Barrett will never be a good shooter. I mean, come on. I mean, we got to put stuff in perspective. Just because he started off 0 for 6 last night does not mean he's going to be a high level starter. We have to, first of all, we played the Detroit Pistons and they were trash, right? They were trash. And even against that Pistons team, we still almost gave the game away.
RJ Barrett, Duke's career.
Yeah. Well, and the thing, and I just wanted to touch on Obi just real quick. The thing about Obi is this: that when I compare it to watching a parade. When you watch the parade and you see the farmers bring their horses and the horses walk down the thing, you like, yo, oh wow, they horses, they clean them up and everything, but they muscular, they don't look like they don't work had a hard life. But then when the thoroughbreds come out, when you see the thoroughbreds coming, when you look down there and you see the thoroughbreds coming, you like, hey, these horses, those thoroughbreds down there are different from these horses. These horses right here look like they'll work, but those thoroughbreds are different. And that's the thing with Obi. When you see Obi, you know Obi is different. Obi is smooth, super athletic, high IQ, super high work ethic. All those things are in the top 3. If his top three skills are basketball IQ, work ethic, and then his athleticism. And if you feel like his athleticism is impressive, then the other 2 traits should impress you even more. You know what I'm saying? And that's what lets you know that Obi is a thoroughbred and not just a horse. You know what I mean? And so the other thing too, just one other thing. If we feel like the coaching staff, Kenny Payne and everybody is going to improve, cats like Kevin Knox and others, we should feel like he should do the same thing for Julius Randle. So with Julius Randle was 20-10 last year with absolute terrible coaching and a terrible roster, what would his numbers look like with an improved roster and improved coaching, right? So Julius Randle has the potential to be a 23-12 guy with excellent coaching, right? And I know people will say that's a stretch, but he did 20-10 with the worst coach you ever seen in your life last year in David Fisdale, and then Mr. Magoo, Mac Miller, trying to coach for his resume instead of coaching for the franchise. So even small impactful things for Randle will improve his numbers. And then when I say his numbers, we should look at those numbers maybe going towards us being a more competitive team, though I think we may win less games. I don't see us winning 25 games, but I do see us being more competitive. Like you can legit see us coming out, and we're not going to be that stop before Brooklyn anymore. Go ahead, Chuck. I know you want to cut my head off. Go ahead, Chuck. Because I know you feel like Chuck B feel like I always prove all his points wrong, and Chuck B is always wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Always.
But I know you want to come back and cut my head off. Go ahead, Chuck.
It wasn't my turn.
I know, because you ain't want this butt cutting on national TV.
I was done with RJ. You went back into RJ. Like RJ, I didn't agree with nothing you said. I don't even know where to start. It was just like like
you can start by admitting you're wrong.
All right, what you think made the most sense, and I'll attack that because none of it made sense to me. So just pick out your best point, like your strongest point, and all of that.
Okay, so I was serving you a steak, but clearly you need baby food on this, right? So instead of this filet mignon, I'm gonna give you some strained peas.
Okay.
Right. So
Right.
so the thing with RJ Barrett is with those first 6 shots he missed, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can't legit say, oh, his shot looked terrible, right? On the misses. And then the fact that he shot 70% from the field after he uncorked those terrible shots.
Okay.
Is one, oh, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Those two things have nothing to do with each other.
Their shots. How did they not have anything to do? They're basketball shots.
He was trying jumpers. He was trying threes. He was breaking long shots. Then once he realized he wasn't going to make those shots, he started going off picks and going to the basket. So he moved in considerably closer to where he was missing from. So you can't compare the air balls he was shooting to when he was close to.
That's not true, Chuck. The first shot he missed, shot he hit was an 18-footer.
Every miss.
The first shot he hit was an 18-footer.
No, you said just because it was an air ball. No, air balls count. That means you was way off.
So you get an extra negative for shooting air ball.
No, but he shot 2 of them. You don't do that. You said you could find players that went 0 for 6. Yes, you can. But can you find players that shot 2 air balls out of 6?
Frank don't even do that.
Frank did that. Frank did that his rookie year.
Rookie. Yeah. But he ain't doing it. Hey, RJ ain't in his rookie year.
And he wasn't a third.
Well, Frank don't do that because he can't get by his man. You gotta create an open shot before you can take it.
That's true too. Frank never beat his man off the dribble in 3 years.
Wow.
That's a bull face.
Wow.
That's a bull face.
Did you find out?
I wish I had the Knicks tape to go be able to pull up and find. I know that's a lie. That's an exaggeration to the highest degree.
Wrong.
What about that dunk last year, man?
Oh, he went by a power forward or a center. Okay.
But you just say he ain't blow by nobody. Ain't you just said that?
Point guard.
Now you trying to change the narrative.
All right, that's when you get caught on the switch and you get a center on you. You're supposed to go by a center.
Everybody don't do that though. Chuck.
All right, let me ask you.
Go ahead.
Did you find the tape or footage where Frank running a fast break in the last 3 years.
Hey, you know what?
You got me on that one now. You got me on that one.
Hey, no cap. Frank got a rebound last night, and he pushed it as fast as he can, and he almost got to the other 3-point line before all 5 other people beat him back.
He didn't make it, right? You notice?
Wow.
Hey, Freeze, you notice?
But he almost did, though. He almost did.
Almost ain't good enough. You notice?
Chuck, you gotta give Frank some credit. He almost beat the defense back, dog.
You notice when he tried to run fast, he put his head down like that.
Wow.
Because it's
something
something
that Frank couldn't get by John Wall with a torn ACL. Raindrop said that in the chat.
He can't. He's the master of slowness. 0 fast breaks in 3 years. And I'm willing to bet he will never go coast to coast in his life.
Wow.
Any takers? No. He will never average 10 points in his life. He will never average 5 assists in his life. Any takers? No. So
so let's get back to the RJ thing. Is what I was wanting to, because you said the fact that he shot up 2 air balls and they were ugly. The thing about that is if he makes 2 jump shots and they were pretty, there's no measure. You saying 2 ugly air balls, that means nothing. It's a missed shot.
All right, so what if I say the pretty air balls? It's an air ball, man. What are you talking about?
I'm trying to figure out what. So it's a missed shot, Chuck. It goes in the
horribly
as a missed shot.
He made the shot when he shot that air ball and went in the stands.
Right,
he made it in the basket.
He owes somebody popcorn, yo.
You say RJ owes somebody $7?
Yeah. Come on.
That's bad when you shoot air balls, though. Yeah,
you're not supposed to. Nah.
That's bad. Touch something. Touch a net or something.
Yeah, and he wasn't defended on it. He wasn't defended. He just
yeah, that's true. He wasn't even defended.
That's bad.
You know what, though, Chuck? Really, I feel like I think RJ gonna be a player where I don't think he's gonna ever be a good 3-point shooter. I could be wrong about it, of course, but I don't see him being a good 3-point shooter. I see him being like a DeMar DeRozan, but not as athletic. I really do see that, and that won't be a bad thing if that's what he is. But everybody got to know you can't do everything that everybody else do.
Right.
That's why they got different positions on the floor for people to play. Everybody can't play point guard. Everybody can't play shooting guard.
He's a hybrid.
Some people at shooting guard don't need to be at shooting guard.
Right.
Let's be real. And once this team get to a point where they start figuring out who really belongs where, it's going to be a lot of people gone. I truly believe that this team is not going to be the same team next year. It's going to be quite a few people gone.
No, we can't. Like we legit have to address the wing position. Like, for instance, I feel like if Kevin Knox and Emmanuel Quickly are going to be contributors long term, then we need to start investing in them right away. To investing in their development for the long term. The thing about Knox and Quickly is this, and I'm bringing in Quickly just because we spent a 1st round pick on him. We have to see what it is that we have in Quickly now, and so if we identify that he has outstanding weaknesses, then what we need to do is address those weaknesses in a G League type setting or some type of setting where he can work on bringing up the floor of those weaknesses. But Tom Thibodeau said himself that Emmanuel Quickly is one of the best shooters that he's seen. You know what I'm saying? So with us, like, we've been talking for like the last 3 hours or so about not having shooting and spacing. I'm wondering why Emmanuel Quickly didn't touch the floor if he's the answer or part of the solution.
You'll see him tonight.
A problem that's been plaguing us.
You'll see him tonight, and I agree with you, Freezy. We got to, and the reason why we need to put him on the floor is because we know next year the draft is loaded, and I ain't talking about the T word because I ain't thinking about that because we're gonna be better than that. But I just think that if Quickly end up being what all reports are talking about him, how he was at Kentucky, he might end up being the guy, and we just don't even know it yet.
Right.
Even if he can be a good backup point guard, you know what I mean? I'll take that.
Right.
We'll know who our backup point guard is going to be.
Right. and the reason why I say that, Ron, is this because I agree with you. The reason why I say that is this because Elfrid Payton is the tank commander, right? No matter how we phrase it, no matter what stat that we use to justify him being on the floor, he started 331 games.
Oh my God.
For lottery teams, right? That's a stat. We can say
that's his fault. How is that his fault?
Bad situation. He was in a bad situation. Bad coaching, man.
Chuck, come on, man.
People ain't valued him.
How you blaming out on one player? How you
I can't believe you asked me that. I thought you was gonna be sharper than that on this.
No, you blaming lottery on one player. So is it fair to say the Knicks been in a lottery since drafting Frank?
So you the one that said point guards are supposed to make other people better.
The good ones.
Exactly.
But you need talent around you to make better.
It's not Frank's fault that Phil drafted.
No.
You got that right.
Oh, here we go with the Frankers.
Phil was asleep at the wheel.
Well, you're right.
Man.
You're right, Baltimore. He shouldn't have drafted him.
Right, but so we can't have a conversation about Emmanuel Quickly and Elfrid Payton without Frank. That's the reason why we say Frank is a 6'4" Tree Rollins. You know what I'm saying? Because we legit can't have a conversation without everybody interjecting Frank Ntilikina. We were talking about Elfrid Payton and Emmanuel Quickly, and no disrespect to anybody, but we legit when I started talking about Elfrid Payton, the first opportunity somebody got was to inject Frank Ntilikina. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about, and so the point that I brought to Chuck, and Chuck agreed. The point guard is supposed to make other people around him better. Was the point, right? Mm-hmm. And so if Elfrid Payton cannot make other people around him better, it has earned the label of tank commander.
He do make people better.
He makes people better.
He do.
Like who?
He made
the only
You don't get 15 triple doubles not making people better, Breezy. That's a point guard. It may not be flash. I'm gonna tell you. You know what it is? I say it all the time. It's today's idea of a point guard. People looking for point guards to put up 20 points. That dude, Elfrid Payton, is really a traditional point guard. That's what he is. He's a traditional point guard.
I mean,
He does everything.
He looks like a traditional point guard when you compare him to Frank and DSJ.
No, when I look at point guards from back in the 80s and the 90s, that's what he is. He's not just modern age point guard.
But my point is so those days are way gone. Way gone.
Breezy, the Knicks started 4-18 when Payton was hurt.
Exactly.
And we blaming that on Fizdale. Fizdale didn't have Payton. Once Payton came back, we started winning some games.
We did look like a different team. I
we
admit.
were totally better. The offense ran better.
Statistically,
right.
And
under Elfrid Payton, the Knicks were 17-27, and you're telling me that's better?
That's better than 4-18. Yes.
Yeah, okay, among all the starting point guards in the league, where would Elfrid Payton finish?
I don't think Elfrid Payton's a starter.
Depending on what you're looking for.
I don't think Elfrid.
Depending on what you're looking for. If you're looking for somebody who's going to defend and give assists, he'll be high up there.
I already told you that Payton's career totals are exactly the same as Lonzo Ball. 11 points, 6.6 assists, 1.5 steals. He has the same exact stats.
But everybody wants to say Lonzo is a great point guard.
Are there 20 point guards you'd rather have over Elfrid Payton?
Yes.
Okay.
20?
20.
More than likely, yes.
I would say yes. I would probably say yes.
And a frightening statistic, he's a better foul shooter than Lonzo Ball, and that's frightening.
Yeah, you know how I feel about them free throws, Stevie.
But we're not so we don't have Lonzo Ball. And the thing is,
no, I know, but people are always like saying, let's trade for him. It's like give up assets for a guy that's gives you the same thing as Elfrid gives you.
And his brother didn't look too good tonight while y'all talking about them Ball brothers. He didn't look good tonight neither. I saw people in the chat talking about LaMelo. I think it was Who's Mark, and I got love for you, Who's Mark, if you still in this thing. But ain't no way.
No,
you didn't score a basket, and you supposed to be able to shoot.
So
Come on, man.
I think it was the glare from his diamond grill.
So what do y'all have against? So what do y'all have against starting DSJ and finding out what we have in Emmanuel Quickly?
He's not a good passer.
I ain't got nothing against finding out about Emmanuel Quickly or DSJ. Like I said, man, I'm not cranking up that plane.
I think all of our point guards have certain things that they can't do well, but I think Elfrid Payton checks more boxes than the other guys. That makes sense.
Well, Elfrid Payton is so Elfrid Payton is like the C+ student. You know what I'm saying? You know he's not gonna make the honor roll, but you know he's not gonna fail a test. You know what I'm saying? So if that's what y'all want at point guard, just a C+ student, then I guess we got what we want. But DSJ gives you the opportunity if his potential is unlocked. If DSJ's potential is unlocked, he gives you the opportunity to have a top 5 athlete at his position. And let me finish. and he's young enough where a developmental coaching staff can teach him the nuances of the position. Because DSJ understands the position, right? But he doesn't understand the nuances of the position. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't always be in attack mode straight ahead towards the basket in a straight line. You know what I'm saying? Steve Nash.
Westbrook.
Yeah, Steve Nash taught us that you can attack the basket from any angle. Like, you can run parallel to the basket, you can run vertically. You can, not vertically, but in a straight line to it. You can attack it vertically with either you dunking or throwing the lob to somebody else. You can attack the basket and make the defense suck into you where you can kick it out to open shooters. You know what I'm saying? I think DSJ has to learn that every basket doesn't, every made field goal doesn't have to be a dunk.
I just think it would hurt.
Would you say, and this is, I love this conversation. Could Austin run an offense better than Elfrid?
Who? Austin Rivers?
Austin Rivers.
No.
He is such an overrated player. It's unbelievable.
Right. Well,
why is he on 5 different teams in 8 years?
I won't say that he's overrated, but the thing is a reason why they make you a combo guard.
He can't make everybody feed.
Because
Peyton is a pure point guard.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
He just can't shoot. That's it.
Yeah, that's his only knock.
If he could shoot, he wouldn't be a Knick. He would still be on Orlando.
Yes. I agree. I mean, my whole thing with DSJ, again, I really have high hopes for him. And I actually was one of the few people who said last night, there was a couple of you, but there was a lot of people, I think Legion disagreed with me. I thought DSJ played well in the first game, but I think he should be coming off the bench with the second unit, with that young second unit. I think build up his confidence. I think if we immediately insert him in the starting role and it doesn't go well, we could lose his mind for the whole season.
He's another one can't shoot.
Yeah, and he has a nonchalant element to his game, his passes,
lazy passes.
Exactly. He's like trying to be cute about it. And it's like, no, man. He was trying to do a no-look pass to Mitch in the paint and a few others. A couple of, what are you doing, man? His
defense he played last night, I'll take that any day.
His defense, he showed a lot of energy. But you know what though? Here's something I wanted to bring to y'all's attention, and we hadn't talked about it. And I don't know if y'all noticed this or not, but y'all probably did. So the Pistons legit got into no lob mode against the Knicks and made us shoot threes, and we couldn't shoot. They legit. If you watch the
27% last night.
Watch how many times we tried to throw the lob in game 1. And watch how many times it was tipped away. Like teams are legit have tape on what our offense was from that simple Mike Miller offense from last year, the one I was talking about, where your point guard turns the corner and the defender has to defend the man or defend the rim, or the weak side defender has to sag off the 3-point shooter in the corner. So what happened last night is the Pistons did all of that. They legit defended the person turning the corner. Sagged off the person turning the corner, and put a body on the lob threat, and the weak side person came and helped and gave us open threes, and we didn't hit them. And so what happened was that got lost last night because we won a game and our defense looked as if it was good. You know what I'm saying? I think we're going to struggle offensively if we can't incorporate the lob, because we tried to throw the lob to Noel a bunch early in the game, and teams just deflected it away because they know we don't have any other offense.
It was too telegraphed. The lobs were too telegraphed. You saw it coming. It wasn't creative.
And to what Chuck B said, that one of the few times Chuck B was right in his whole life, he said you legit can't depend on throwing a lob to Mitch as offense. Chuck said that all summer long. You know what I'm saying? Now teams have film on it, and we came back out trying to do it, but we just switched it up and tried to throw the lob.
I think it was timing issues.
Yeah, brought that up.
Our
guy said the first game, your timing's off.
Yeah, they were telegraphing it. They were telegraphing
it. Timing issues.
Yeah, hey man, and I understand what y'all saying, but I don't think when you face failure, go harder. I think if somebody is defending you a certain way, you have to provide some kind of alternative. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of throwing the lob, if the lob is not on, if we don't have it, we need to generate offense somewhere else. Maybe get out of that pick and roll and run another offense. Some type of motion offense.
Can I play devil's advocate to that point, Freezy?
Okay, Legion and Knicks, go ahead.
Do you feel like a better point guard could have executed doing the lobs better?
No, I just don't think you need to get a team's not going to allow you to get 10 or 20 lobs a game.
Because playing devil's advocate for a big stretch, that was the Clippers when they had CP3 and Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. They was doing that how many times a game? And teams knew they were doing it.
But you talking about CP3?
Exactly. That's what I said. With a better point guard, be able to execute that better.
Kev, let me add something to your point. So the fact that they threw the lob, guess who they had in the deep corner waiting to shoot a three if you contested it?
No,
the Clippers legit had JJ Redick in a corner, so a weak side defender couldn't leave JJ Redick wide open.
So our whole season is based on one preseason game?
No, Rob. I was asking if y'all noticed last night that the Pistons did not let us get the lob.
We got a couple of them. We didn't get them all, but I put it as timing issues.
I agree with that.
I don't know, man.
It looked too telegraphed. When all the ones I saw got snapped out the air, knocked away. It was, you could read it. You knew it was coming.
Right. I think teams knew it was coming because they know we depended on that for offense last year.
But you know what it was? I agree to your point a little bit there, Freezy, is the fact that when you can't, in the lob ain't effective, is when you can't shoot. And last night we weren't shooting well. So therefore, they know the only other thing that we're good and known for is throwing that lob. So everybody was sagging off. I mean, RJ had but 2 or 3 wide open 3-pointers. Nothing.
I think they shot 44% from the field. The Knicks didn't really have a bad shooting night. Detroit did.
The Knicks did. The Knicks shot 23% from the 3-point line.
I know, 23. But as a whole, we shot 44% for the game.
Yeah, it was like 45. Yeah, I mean, if you want to be
46,
yeah, you want to be
a bad shooting night. They had a bad night from the 3.
But you ain't gonna. But you know what though, Rob? If you shooting 46% from the field, you better be shooting 50 or 60 from that 3-point line. Because to Freezy's point, if this was any other team last night, we might have lost this game.
No, usually teams shoot. What's the lead average for Steve for field goals for the game? I think it's about at 43%, something like that.
Yeah, I don't have that handy.
I think lead average is about at 43%. So for the
I wonder what it is in wins. That's what I'm talking about in wins.
In wins. That's what I'm saying.
And what? So if you shoot 44 from there, what is it?
It's 46%.
What is it for the 3-point lines and wins?
It ain't no 47.
I know it ain't no 23.
No, but I'm saying overall, the overall game.
Overall
if you shoot
that's what I'm saying too.
46% from the field for the game, you usually win.
Hey Rob, I like where you're trying to go with this. We should have blew that team out.
We should have.
Yeah. If we would have hit the threes, we would have blown them out.
We should have.
We got
and
tired.
especially as we brought up, they only shot 33%.
Yeah,
we got tired in the fourth quarter.
I agree with that pretty well. We did get tired. They got tired because they were defending at a high level. Because Tibbs even said we got about 36, I think, minutes of playing high level defense, and after that,
he said we played 40 minutes of good team basketball.
They ran out of gas.
They'll get a bet. They'll pace themselves. They'll get better.
That's that conditioning and playing for Tibbs.
Yep.
He could have put more on the floor. He had some people that didn't even.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping we see quickly tomorrow. I want to see him start. Actually,
he's definitely playing tonight. I don't know if he's starting. He's definitely playing tonight. He's got to be playing tonight.
I would love to see him start at that point guard position.
There's something about his vibe, man, of confidence.
Yeah, he don't have a vibe of looking like he don't look like a rookie. Just looking at him, we ain't seen him play yet, but he looked very confident.
Why didn't he play in the first game? Why don't you think he played?
Because he's not part of rotation.
You know why? Exactly. I said it last night. I feel like Tibbs know what he got in him from what you held the reports, the comments he made about that kid. I mean, he know the guy's shooting 92% from the field. He's shooting almost, 43% from the 3-point line. So he know anytime he put him in the game, what he's going to get from him. He's trying to find out about these other guys who've been sitting on the roster for 3 or 4 years. Because like I said, that plane going to be cranking up mid-season. Somebody going to be flying out of LaGuardia, courtesy of Penn Station.
He's playing tonight. He's definitely playing tonight. I'm gonna be upset if we come on here and we're not evaluating what we see from him.
That would be a good topic one night. Who we think might get traded? That'll be hey Chuck. That'll be very entertaining. Who do we think gonna be on that first thing smoking out of LaGuardia?
Frank.
What players are gonna be on that plane?
Frank.
Who else?
Hey, they're gonna make a movie after it. They're gonna. You think he gonna be by himself? You think he gonna be the only one gone? Yep, they're gonna make a movie. They're gonna call it Frank's on a Plane.
I think it's gonna be more than Frank.
Wow.
Hey, look, it's not gonna be TWA. It's gonna be DSJ.
Frank gonna be a salary dump.
Hey, if Frank gonna be the pilot, DSJ gonna be the co-pilot.
Hey, look, check this out. It's gonna be DSJ on TWA from JFK.
No, dropping it.
He's gonna be the first player salary dumped on his rookie contract.
Hey, I won't be surprised if we keep Frank though. It just depends if Frank accept that off guard role and he can start knocking on them shots. And he started off on a good foot. He made the only one he took from the 3-point line. So if he keep that up, he may
got
stick.
fouled on one and he made one.
Yeah, give him his credit. He took one. He was great.
He don't have the power to not accept something.
I agree, and that's why I don't listen to all them reports when they say that him and his camp was. Cause that just ain't. That don't even sound like Frank. Frank ain't never been that guy since he been here. So for that to get out there like that, I think that's just somebody reaching.
Yeah. Hey, God bless our Knicks at Night family. We have 135 people in the chat.
Wow.
A blink away from 3:30 in the morning. Wow.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So who's gonna do the infomercial pledge tonight? To subscribe to the channel. Who's gonna do that tonight? Y'all want me to do it?
Yeah, you're the best.
Hey, so here's the thing. Subscribe to the channel. Right. And if you like this video here, if you like this live stream and others like it, smash that like button, turn on the notification bell, comment in the comment boxes below. Let us know what you like and dislike. Continue the conversation during and after the live stream. I see all your comments and I respond to 100% of them all the time. That's how I spend my day. In between cat naps, I respond to y'all comments in the comment box. And the reason why I ask y'all to subscribe is not just because, you know, we want to do lift our personal profiles or anything like that, but what we like to do is continue a robust conversation about the Knicks, right? The conversations are always good, always dope. Sometimes we go off the rails, but that's what rails are for. Sometimes you go off them. You got to know where your boundaries are. Without boundaries, you don't know how far you can go, right? So the thing is we want to grow the family because we want to find them and they want to find us. And how we do that is by y'all hitting that subscribing to the channel. And so it improves our profile in the YouTube algorithm, so that others can find us. Most of the people that are on this video chat found us because of that YouTube algorithm. We randomly popped up in their YouTube suggestions, and we wanted to do the same for others, so that we can continue to grow and have a robust conversation about this thing that we hold dear, these New York Knicks. And I know we don't always agree, right? Because I think Frank Ntilikina is a 6'4" Tree Rollins, and others disagree with me. They think Frank is the next Clyde Frazier, right? But the way we find out what is true and what is not is by having robust conversations like the one we're having right now. Smash that like button, you know what I'm saying? Hit the notification bell, comment in the comment box, share on your social medias so that others can find us. And I say that with the confidence that we'll grow. The YouTube analytics say to me, or say to all Knicks content creators, see the same thing. I think they see how fast or who gets the most like and love. And so when people come to YouTube, so there are millions and there are hundreds of millions of YouTube users, and there are millions and millions of Knicks fans, and they come to YouTube searching for the New York Knicks. The first thing they search for is the New York Knicks franchise, right? So the New York Knicks franchise gets 49% of all the searches. But guess who's in second place?
The
Knicks at Night podcast. People legit search second for the Knicks at Night podcast, and fourth is Blanche Tears. So they legit take their fingers and type in Knicks at Night podcast, and take their fingers and thumbs and type in Blanche Tears. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to figure out what this thing is that we put on at night, right? So we're in second place with 18 point something %. And so that number goes up and down. Sometimes it's 18.4. At one time I saw it was like 18.9. But they legit search for the Knicks at Night podcast. So clearly we're putting something out there that people like. So just join the family, subscribe to the channel. What's up, dog?
And this is what you ain't saying. These other shows got to be PC. Yeah. You have a conversations, no condoms. I'm gonna keep saying that. Conversations, no condom. Real and raw. Come get it. That's how we get down next night.
Can we put that as like an advertisement?
I don't know.
Hey, that's even better than a man t-shirt.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't want to put what Teddy just said on the t-shirt. You know,
but we gotta be real. Let's be real.
I ain't walking around. I'm a grown man, dog. I ain't walking around with that on no shirt of mine.
I'm putting on my shirt. Conversation, no condom.
Oh my goodness.
Really raw.
But I just
you guys are hilarious.
And also I wanted to throw something else out there too. So it's a bunch of us. So we're forming a Lawrence Tears posse, so to speak, like a family. And so we're working on content to put out. Like Chuck D, Art, and myself are working on something. Me, Teddy, and God of Moses and Elijah are working on something. We're working on a few things. Me and Stephen Fox are working on some things. So if you wanna join the family, or if you just want to add to continue the dialogue, hit me up on Twitter at Big Freezy. You can DM me, man. Listen, I'm open to just about anything, as long as it's, listen, don't try to scam me. Don't try to scam me because I'll fight. You know what I'm saying? And don't be disrespectful. Like, don't be trying to sell me porn and life insurance or something crazy like that. I don't dig any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But if you legit want to be a content creator or want to just help Lawrence Tears grow, hit me up on Twitter at Big Freezy, and what we'll do is work together. Just be patient with us, because just because you're in a rush doesn't mean that we're gonna put stuff down to speed up the processes and stuff. But if you legit want to come along for the ride and feel like you have something dope that you can offer, I'm open to it and will help as much as I can. Just be mindful though that we're growing something here, and we're not gonna grow outside of the pace that we like to grow at. So to just be respectful of that. And also we have other dudes on here with channels like Ron Cleveland, man, it's the Knicks growing like wildfire. So,
appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate you, Freezy.
Hey, make sure y'all subscribe to Ron's channel to get just the exactly what you think you're gonna get.
That wisdom,
the realness. Hey, and Latrell,
Chuck, I'm gonna have to reach out to you, man, because I love your vibe, man. I'm gonna have to get you on my show.
Who?
Chuck.
Oh yeah.
I definitely. It was open today. Freezy, thank you for giving me the idea to do it, man. Because my nerves were shot. I didn't think I could do it. But my wife asked me. She said, "Did you like doing that?" I said, "Yeah." I said I like doing it. I said because I like the fact that when I can speak and I can just be in my normal mode. She asked, "Do you like videos?" I said, "The video's cool, but I like being able to just talk with somebody because then I can be fully myself."
That's what's up.
Hit me up. Hit me up, man. I'll come on anytime. Hit me up.
Right. Yeah, so basically Friday and Saturday gonna be times that I jump on, like from 5. I do 5 to like 7. Depending on how the show going.
Right.
I might cut it early, but 5 to 7 on Friday and Saturday.
Right.
Eastern Standard Time. So I'll shoot that thing out. You subscribe, it'll hit you.
And everybody,
a lot of shout outs from the chat about how great your channel is. So congrats, man.
Appreciate you guys, man. It ain't no man without y'all, man. Just like I say, but this thing here behind us. What they talk about when it comes to the Knicks? They talk about the fans. That's the first thing come out their mouth. The fans.
Yes, Yep. So subscribe to the channels, right? And the thing is, the reason why I say subscribe to the Legion of Knicks podcast, Die Hard Knicks podcast, Man, and a bunch of other Knicks contributors is because the national media does not know how a real Knicks fan feels. They went to school for journalism, and they probably have a second degree in English or whatever, and they probably have resources where they can talk to insiders and all that stuff. But insiders are exactly that. They're insiders. They're not out in the world. They're not regular cats like us. You know what I'm saying? So
sterile.
We provide exactly. We provide the heartbeat of what it is that the Knicks come to play for. Without us, there is no Knicks fan base. We are the Knicks fan base, and this chat right here, the Knicks at Night podcast, has what I call the home field advantage, because I've seen other shows and their chat is lit with their chats be lit, but they're not together. Hey, yo, and when I said together just now, I ain't gonna lie. When I said together just now, it kind of touched me a little bit. Because I just realized our chat is together. We like a family in here. We are legit.
Man, we're blessed.
Yeah, man, that thing just touched me just now. I just got like a chill just now. I'm sorry about that. Yo,
we all want the same thing, man.
I ain't no emotional dude. Like I don't get into that, but something just gave me the chills just now when I said, this chat right here is together. We legit like to see each other. And we, you know what I'm saying? We legit troll each other out of fun and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So this home field advantage that we have is real. And so for those of y'all that are watching and are not subscribed, I'm asking you, why are you not subscribed when you know you're going to come into a safe place where people actually like you on the internet?
Yeah.
Because this place is on the internet. You can go and people fill their stuff with hate speech and all kind of other stuff. And want people and want singularities. We don't want that. We like diversity. And I'm not talking about in terms of just age and race. I'm talking about the way we think about stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like we think about stuff differently, and that's what makes a conversation good. So
and the example you brought up about Michael K, man, we're nothing like that. A person talks for 10 seconds, cuts him off, and then it's his time. Or, nah, man, that's not cool.
Yeah. This thing right here is different, and it's not because of Uncle Freezy or because of all the hats that I be wearing. This is because y'all built this. You know what I'm saying? This is grown organically. There is nothing, to me, in my opinion, there is nothing better that's grown than something that's grown organically. There's something that grows by itself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but anyways, I'm gonna get off that because I sound mad soft right now, early in the morning, and I don't know that ain't what y'all want. So let me slander Frank Ntilikina for a few seconds. Hey, so Frank Ntilikina is a 6'4" Herb Williams. Let me get back over Frank. Hey, Frank Ntilikina is a 6'4" Clark Kellogg. Frank is a 6'4" George Mikan. That's what it is.
Oh damn, you went
without the glasses.
6'4". No, Jared
Jeffries. Frank tonight.
That's it. Jeffries.
Frank have his best game as an.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So I'm sorry about sounding like a telethon just now, man. But it's legit, man. When I see y'all, when I see the chat, like when I see cats like Nick Dreezy and Manchild come through, I be legit like, yo, look who is in the building. They came back. I thought I ran them off, but they back. So, but anyway.
Udi said Frank is the French Ron Baker.
Oh my god.
Ron Baker was a little better though. He was a little better.
Really?
A little
better
Frank
shooter.
had opportunity that Baker didn't get. It's all about opportunity to sometime. Like Linsanity came straight from opportunity.
Right.
If he didn't get a chance to play, he would still been in the G League.
Yeah.
He would have just thought he sucked. That was great opportunity, man.
Wow.
That's all it takes sometimes.
That was a fun 7 games, 10 games.
Right.
That was
It's
fun.
coming up to that time, fellas, of shutting her down for the night and getting out. Time for church tomorrow.
Yeah.
I got a question. Baltimore, you don't call the radios no more? Because I used to listen just to hear your calls. It was so much passion.
I've taken a little break. I mean, I've focused on my channel and just uploading Allen Houston and Sprewell videos, going back, watching all the old 90s games and breaking down the highlights. So I've stayed away from the radio, but once the season picks up, I usually call Larry Hardesty because I'm pretty close with him. But yeah, I'll be back.
Hey, so have you uploaded anything new lately? I mean, well, no, you said you uploaded a video yesterday, right?
Earlier this week, I uploaded the whole Hawk series. I went through every game, and every Allen Houston bucket and every Sprewell bucket from that series is on there.
Okay,
so you can take a look.
And I just subscribed to Trail, so great channel.
You know,
I appreciate it, man.
99 series. I completely forgot about the second round. It is because the Heat series was like fantastic. And then you remember the Pacers series, but you just completely overlooked the Hawks. Like did we sweep them?
It's fun. We swept them. And the funny part is on YouTube, there's only highlights from game 1 and 2, but nobody ever put up any highlights from game 3 or 4 of that series. So I felt it was a responsibility to have people remember those games, especially when Jeff Van Gundy got that chance. Nobody remembers when we chanted Jeff Van Gundy because with the whole controversy where they met with Phil Jackson and the crowd, it was a special moment. If you go back and watch on my channel, I got that clip.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I'm just trying to bring back the memories, man. I only did the channel just for people that just love Spree and Houston. Those were my 2 guys. Yeah, man, I appreciate all you guys, man, because this franchise, look, I've been watching the Knicks for 20 years. I mean, we got Knicks fans that have been watching for 50 years, but I just appreciate the passion that we all have and the different takes. I mean, it's cool to disagree. That's the thing about it, man. It would be boring if I had the same opinion as Uncle Freezy on Frank. It would be boring.
I can't stand it yet, man.
Hey, but you would be smart though.
Hey, fellas, y'all know what I'm looking forward to this year? I'm looking forward to Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson doing a Knicks game this year with Tibbs coaching us.
I don't think they're
talking about how great the Knicks playing on defense. That's what I'm looking forward to, because I know they're gonna be eating that up, man. If we keep playing defense like this, we're gonna be one of the top 10 in the league.
Do the Knicks have a game on ESPN this year?
No.
I don't think they got any on ESPN.
Actually, they got a primetime game.
If them boys play defense,
I know they got an NBA TV
I
game.
see you laughing, but seriously, man, think about it. The Knicks held a team in this modern era,
Detroit.
84. And I know it might be like, well, it's Detroit.
Yes.
But when you get defend, and that's rightfully so, but you like Kev said, you gotta beat the team they put on your schedule. You don't control that. But if we continue to display this type of defense the whole season long, and I'm not looking for them to hold everybody at 84, but be able to get key stops and key moments of the game, because that's what's going to really tell you that you got a good defense.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you ain't going to be able to do this every night to people. But we going to be a problem if we can just play sound good defense.
And to all you guys, when we do win a championship, and I said when we do, I want to be on the float with all of you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna take over Madison Square Garden.
We're gonna be on the float together, okay?
James Dolan gonna bring us all bottles of champagne.
This channel gonna get some free tickets by that time.
And he'll probably give everybody in the stands a free bottle.
Right.
Except for Charles Oakley
on that float. That's all I got.
Trust me, Charles Oakley won't be in the building. Get a
We'll
bottle.
be at the car wash.
You deserve to be on that float for having an hour conversation about Kevin Knox.
Right. Hey,
That's why we deserve to be on the float.
He said Oakley won't be in the building, but guess what though? The Knicks at Night podcast will be in the building.
Yeah.
How about that? How about that? So legit, we doing Knicks Morning Drive at 8:00. For those of y'all can't be there, y'all can catch the replay. But we'll probably be on for a couple of hours just to recap.
The game day.
Just to recap the recap, and then talk about game day. And for some Knicks fans to come through and vent, we'll be on 8:00, just to make sure that we stay consistent with the timing and stuff. And just wanted to say one thing to everybody that subscribed. I'm proud of y'all for growing the channel. It's growing like wildfire. So I think we may get to some type of landmark threshold here soon. We all want to do that, and when we do that, I think I'm gonna get with a few of the helpers to see what we can do. Maybe get with Steve and Teddy to see what it is that we can provide for the Knicks fans.
Absolutely, man.
Absolutely.
Maybe a hat or maybe something doper than that, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we
got to take care of our people.
Oh, yeah. Got to.
And we broke the 750 subscriber milestone too, so congrats.
What is it?
752, I believe.
Oh wow! Look at us.
Hey, you look, but 248 away from a G.
Yeah, but
248. 248.
Hey, Ron, we started out with 63 28 days ago.
Right.
What?
Wow.
60. We started out with 63 28 days ago. Yeah.
That's cool.
Hey, them major networks gonna be coming for you.
That's awesome.
But you know what's funny? Somebody put in the chat, said James Dolan is gonna hit Oakley with the bottle.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah. DSS Oakley.
But all jokes aside, man, you know what would make my day this year? And I killed him for cutting up. I killed both of them. But I would love to see them squash that beef, man.
Yeah,
I would love. All jokes aside, man. Oakley meant too much to them Knicks teams back then, man. For this stuff to be going on. All jokes aside, man. It's like seeing your two brothers fighting.
Right. Didn't Oakley win the case?
And you really can't take a side because I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
Yeah. Hey, so I just want to do. Hey, so if any, I'm looking for some writers. Anybody that write and like to do articles and such. I'm looking for some people to write. But I have some. I'd like to do some topics, but I also like for somebody who can do freelance. So if you're a freelance writer, and I'm talking about freelance about the Knicks, you know what I'm saying? If you like to do freelance about the Knicks, or if you like assigned writing, like, you know, if you want to be like the Peter Parker of this Lawrence Tiz thing, I got some stuff that I want to do, some recruiting publicly, and then I'll do some recruiting privately too. But if you feel like you have talent, hit me up. Also, if you're looking to get into the biz, make sure you hit me up too. I'm not the best, but I do feel like I have a great resource that I can use, or great resources that I at my disposal that I can use to help you get into the joint. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up right here, y'all. Thank everybody for coming through. Knicks Morning Drive will be in about 4 hours. Thanks everybody again, and I'll look to see y'all in a little bit.
Great night, family.
Hey, we're gonna get that win tomorrow night. Hey, and you know, hey, emotions gonna be running high. Frank gonna get him 10 points tomorrow, Chuck.